morning and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. We are here bright and early this fine Saturday morning, August 9th, in the heart of the summer. It is 7 a.m. over here on the West Coast, 10 a.m. over there on the East Coast, where my co-host, Miss Anika, is at the moment. We, as always, are here for the winner's circle. We're going to be reviewing AEW Collision from July 31st and AEW Dynamite from August 6th. If you're new to the Workhorse Wrestling Network and you're here with us this morning, we appreciate you being here. If you're not subscribed to the Workhorse Wrestling YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button on this video. It helps a lot. If you hit that little bell and turn on the notifications, you'll be notified every time we put something up on the YouTube channel. It's the best way to make sure that you catch everything we put up. Dolores is here with us bright and early. I saw her holding it down with Anika last night on Friday Night Fights. Little black girl magic. I don't know what was going on. So I was on the YouTube channel and I was trying to chat. I kept typing like chats in the thing, and I don't know if you guys ever saw them because no one ever commented. And then as I go, like I'd switch back and forth, and then I'd come back and they were gone. So I don't know what's going on with my YouTube, but like I couldn't get my comments to come up. So, but
what?
nonetheless, Dolores.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, that sounds like me because it was one chat where I'm like, okay, I know I'm subscribed, but it's not coming up, and I'm not sure how to fix it. So hopefully yours is just better than
Yeah, I
mine,
don't
where it
know. I
just
mean,
gave you just one day. Yeah.
yeah, I closed my YouTube app and reopened it again because I was all irritated. But nonetheless, so thank you, Dolores, for hanging out with Anika last night and watching SmackDown. Happy you're here with us this morning. If you're not aware, Dolores has her own YouTube channel, uh, a pink girl living in a pink world. So go over there and check that out. She can drop her link in the chat, or her address in the chat, whatever, so that everyone can get there. Go over there, subscribe, check it out. Dolores is wonderful. She does all our production in the back. Every graphic you see is thanks to Dolores. We can't thank her enough. So, and go over there and check out her channel. She does a lot of great stuff. Covers wrestling, she does arts and crafts, she plays games, she does all sorts of stuff. So, please go over there and check that out. We want to support her because she always supports us. So, let's see if you're with us on Twitch. We appreciate you being here. Uh, Drop a follow if you're not already following. Give us a chat. If you're here on the YouTube channel, give us a chat. Love to hear what you guys think about either Collision or Dynamite. The two we're going to be talking about. Anything else you want to talk about AEW related? Anything else you want to talk about wrestling related and or non-wrestling related? We are here. Love to hear from you. So I think that covers all of the housekeeping bases. Dolores says she's going to check it out, see if she can get it fixed, the chat. So if anyone else is having that issue, we apologize. Hopefully we can get it fixed. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing it, but if they are, we were doing our best to try to get that resolved. All right. So Thursday, special edition of a Collision. For a long time, like I was a little like, I don't like it when companies have shows on back-to-back nights. I
Yeah.
feel like Thursday is a sweet spot for Collision. Like
It
even though it's
is.
right after Dynamite, it feels like it's more of a. It just feels like a better spot for them than Saturday. I feel like Saturday you have to contend with so much, not just life, but there's a pay per view or from another company or whatever's going on. So like, just feels like Thursday night is this. All you have to contend with is TNA on
Well, tell me
Thursday
about
night.
this. What you call it is uh college football. So you have that.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, because they're
yeah.
going to be on every Saturday. So I mean, if more often than not, when you look at the calendar, you're looking at it going, oh shit, we got to do something for this week on Saturday and that week on Saturday, you might as well just switch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's Dolores's YouTube channel. For everybody that wants to check it out, please go over there and check it out. Give her a like, give her a subscribe, all those things. So yeah, so I mean, just real quick, I mean, I kind of like it being on Thursdays, and it feels like it's easier to kind of keep up with the flow, other than there's more of a gap between Thursday night and the following Wednesday. So
Yeah.
you do have more of a, if you don't have a pay per view that week. So, I mean, but it feels like it's easier to follow the story from one to the other, especially because they're trying now to have a lot of continuity, it feels like, between the two shows. So more than it felt like before. Maybe I just, because I wasn't really watching it on a regular basis. Maybe that's why I didn't notice it. You could probably comment to it more, but I have noticed there's a fair amount of continuity. I mean, they definitely are trying to weave stories from Dynamite through Collision and then back into Dynamite. So, and I don't know if that's new or not, because like I said, I haven't really watched it a whole lot before. But when I did watch it before, I don't feel like it was quite that engaged with Dynamite. So,
So the thing about it is, Collision was literally the CM Punk show. They're like, we don't want you to go, but we know you're having beef with the Young Bucks, so let's put you on Saturday, totally separate entities. But now he's gone. It's like, and there's not really a top person who this show is for. We're still like it's not a soft, what you call it, and it was also a soft brand split, and it's not that anymore. So it's like, if we're not doing a soft brand split anymore, then yeah, why not do it on Thursday? Like you said, if there's something that you want to do more with the buildup of a match, Thursday right after Dynamite is much easier than Saturday, and it's just like, not gonna say out of sight, out of mind, but it's just like you kind of forgot it, or if you're not a fan, you're like, I don't need to go watch it. I don't need to wait that long.
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and it feels like more kind of yeah, it feels more kind of must see TV on a Thursday than it does on a Saturday. That
Yeah,
being said, Thursday night, July 31st, we did have a special episode, and it started off with um, Tony and Nigel talking about what happened the night before with Hangman Page and John Moxley in their world title rematch. Um, and then we get John Moxley out here beating up security. Um, we're not here to talk about Moxley. We're here 8 months ago. A young fellow named Darby Allen got himself thrown down a flight of stairs and put in the hospital. John thought that it was that he was gone and was going to stay gone. And since he didn't kill himself on Mount Everest, he is back. John isn't stupid, and he wants Darby to
yay,
come out and show himself.
yay, no
So,
death, yay.
so asking you shall receive, right? So, Q Darby Allen is in the upper deck, standing on the ledge. Uh, they continue to go back and forth. Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Uh, Darby walks away. Moxley says this is a small arena. He'll find him. And that's the Death Riders. Let's see. Wheeler gives the security guy one more stomp on his way out. I think that was essentially it. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm trying to
No.
remember it
Basic.
exactly.
So, no, that basically John Moxley was like, we're gonna have this tough conversation, whether you like it or not. And so, and Darby's not saying a word, just like he's like basically not saying a word, like, no, we're not. He just backs away. And again, that irate Moxley, like, don't you run away? I'm talking to you. All right, fine. All right, fine. And like that whole itchy. That whole Moxley thing. It's like, if you don't come to me, we'll find you. And so yeah, that was definitely it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I mean, I Moxley and Darby definitely interest me because they're both insane. And
Yes.
even though I'm not always on board for like the ultra violence, just because it bothers me, but just because I think sometimes it takes away from some of the art of the wrestling itself in the ring because it's just more kind of spot fest. But
Okay.
that being said, there's something about Moxley and Darby Allen just going insane in the ring on each other that sounds very interesting to me. So, to see who can out crazy the other to a certain extent. So,
Yeah.
no, I'm excited for it. I mean, I think it's a good little. I like that it's a turn for John. I wasn't sure what was going to happen after he lost the title to Hangman. It
Right.
feels like they have a more definitive plan for Moxley than they do for Hangman, which is an issue with AEW where they put titles on people and don't necessarily always know what they plan to do with it. I'm not saying there isn't some direct storylines and plenty of stuff that Hangman can do. It just feels like he's juggling several balls, which is champion you're gonna do because you
Right.
got several, you got people coming from all angles, right? So I
Yeah.
kind of get that, but with Moxley, it feels like there's a more definitive direction. So, what did you think of this little segment?
No, I agree. And this was actually a very nice way to set off down like a collision, where it's like, like again, this is what happens when you do something right after. This is the what you call it, the effort. This is the benefits of doing a collision on Thursday. Why is Moxley mad? Well, yesterday I just lost my title because Darby, who didn't even get involved in the match, he just took everyone out after Death Riders left the ring. But still, you're coming mad. It's like no. You're a little pesky little bug. So now I got to deal with you. And of course, Darby just being the new Sting is awesome to me. And so, yeah, I approve of all of this to start off Dynamite. Yes.
Um, so we move right into our hopefully revitalization of the World Tag Team Championships in the tag team division. We're doing a tournament for the number one contender. We are already we're in the quarterfinals. So we have our first match of the night, which is Brodito.
Bro,
I absolutely love.
very hard to keep up with. Yes, Bro Dito, though.
I know it's so stupid, but I absolutely love the name. Brody King and Bandito form Brodito, and
But
they face off again.
side note,
What?
like if it wasn't for Brody, it sounds like a Matt Riddle tag team. Like, bro, you're Bandito. Bro Dito. That's what it sounds like more than
Oh, it's
the
funny.
big
It does
bad
sound like that.
Brody King.
That's hysterical. It does sound like that. It also sounds like something you might be able to order at Taco Bell. I'll take two Banditos or two Broditos and a soft taco.
Listen, don't do that because I want one. It's fine.
So it's Brodito versus Gates of Agony, Ricochet's new muscle, I guess, or
Yes,
uh, faction mates.
yes.
Brody and
He's just
them.
so
Let's see.
cute.
It was a phenomenal match. Surprisingly, I thought Brodito got the win. I guess it shouldn't surprise me because Bandito, whatever. But at the same time, Gates of Agony have been getting the push now, especially since they're with Ricochet. So I kind of thought they would get the win here. But I'm
Right.
very happy that Brodito did get the win. Not that I don't like Gates of Agony because I do. I'm here for them. But I'm really big here on Brody King and Bandito. Um, we can debate what getting more means
Yeah,
till the cows come home, right? So Malachi
yeah.
Black is gone. The idea is they're going to get more. Brody King is now in this tag team with the with one of the Mexico's best wrestlers and a former Ring of Honor World title holder champion, and they're doing well and they're in this tournament. They've won this match. We'll talk about what happened on Dynamite later, but it feels like they're in a pretty good spot. Do you think that this is enough? Let's hypothetically that they win this tournament and go on to become tag team champions, whether from this tournament or not. Eventually down the road, is this enough? Is this the getting out of the Malachi Black shadow push that people are talking about, or do you still expect more and want more from Brody King than just AEW World Tag Team Champion?
No, I definitely want more for Brody King. So this is not the push that we were all expecting when we did when everybody, including their mamas, was talking to the freaking former House of Black. You don't need a leader. You're good by yourself. Just follow me. Blah 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 blue. No, this was not what we all envisioned about. Oh, he's finally gonna get a decent push. That being said, I actually like this is a very mischief tag team. We can all agree. Can we all agree on that? This is like never on my bingo card. Bandito and Brody King are a tag team, but they are fun in the ring. And as long as you do that, I'm very much so glad. What you call it? Gates of Agony are my people. I love them so much for more than one reason. But I'm not mad they lost. Either way, we said this before till the cows come home. Whoever gonna go up against her syndicate needs some major hype to get to the place of I think they can win if it's not FTR or the Young Bucks. So that's just here. That's just here for it. And yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Like you said, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because I'm all for makeshift tag teams, but it's like this is so makeshift. This is stuff like this is out of freaking nowhere, bro. Like you be a solidified tag team. Like, I get
Here's
it, and
another
I'm
question.
here for it. But yeah,
So it's Bandito because Buddy's hurt, right? If Buddy wasn't hurt, it would be Buddy and Brody. The question that I have is, would Buddy and Brody be getting the win? Would Buddy and Brody be getting the same push? Or do you think that Brody's benefiting from being teamed with Bandito in some way?
I really can't answer that. I really, because based on history, yeah, they won a tag team title. But you really didn't put any effort into their reign. So I'm gonna say no. I
You
don't know.
have to say
It
no.
feels like I feel like they love Bandito right now, and they
Yeah.
always love Bandito. So I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say they wouldn't have gotten this big of a push if it was Brody King and Buddy. That's just me.
Which is a little disappointing, right? I mean, just because of Buddy on Buddy's sake. Again, we
Yes.
talk a lot on here about the disconnect for certain guys and why some guys were more successful than others. And Buddy Matthews is one of those guys. Why I'm not totally sure why it hasn't clicked, but
Hmm.
it is what it is. Lexi Nair is backstage with Don Callis and Lance Archer. And Kyle Fletcher. She wants to know how Kyle's prepared for the night. Oh no, I'm sorry. She's there with Lance Archer and Don Callis. She asked Don how Kyle's prepared for the night. Don says he wants people to pay attention to what happens because after the match, they will have all the money, all the titles, and all the power. Shane Taylor is not happy to hear all that, so here comes Shane Taylor, and he wants his money that Don Callis owes him because they helped Don Callis with the beatdown. Uh, and he wants the money before he beats Don's ass. Archer is not going to allow that. And so we get whatchamacallit, Shane Taylor and his guys taking care of all that stuff and wants to get his money. So what do you think of this little segment between Don and Shane? And are we gonna get a match between Shane Taylor and Lance Archer out of this?
Listen, as of right now, arguably the Callis, don't want to say Vortex, I'm gonna say it anyway. The Don Callis Vortex has more of an appealing main roster feel than any other tag team or faction. So the Shane Taylor mixing it up because he's a businessman. You didn't pay him his money. I'm all here for it. Just a matter of can we please let him win? Like I don't want him to lose anymore. Just let him win. I'm totally on board with this. But we'll see. It is what it is. We'll see.
It is what it is. Let's see. I mean, anytime that Shane Taylor's more on my TV, I'm happy. So in that regard,
Yeah.
if him having some sort of feud because Don's not paying him means we get Shane Taylor promotions in some way versus the Don Callis family, I'm here
Yeah.
for that. And Lance versus Shane would definitely interest me. I don't get to see Shane wrestle enough, and to be fair, he's gotten older now, and it's whatever. I don't really watch Ring of Honor, which he's doing the bulk of his stuff, but I don't really get to see him wrestle all that often. So I'd be interested. I'm here
Yeah.
for that. So, let's see there. Oh, sorry, we got a video package. Mark Briscoe beating Ricochet, and then MJF, and that fallout from last week on Dynamite's main event stuff. Anything you want to say about the little video package and the fallout? I mean, we talked about it a lot on when we reviewed Dynamite last week, but
Yeah. No, more so nice hype up because this is going to be your main event for next week. So just in case people who are watching Collision don't watch Dynamite, this is why you should watch it. It's coming up. It's gonna be good.
we get an interesting interview. I thought this was very interesting. Lexi has the Paragon, and they want to know if Kyle is still in the conglomeration or if he's a member of Paragon. Well, what's going on here? Because Kyle
Yeah.
O'Reilly appears to be in two factions at the same time, and Kyle O'Reilly says the conglomeration is there a lifestyle. It's not a faction, it's a lifestyle. And Roddy is a little whatever, screams Kyle in his classic Roddy voice.
Kyle!
Um,
Yeah.
he says he came back to help his best friend, then he lost him, then he got him back, and he lost him. And he's not totally sure. He's feeling a little lost. Kyle says the conglomeration are a fun group of misfits. They're here now, and so here's the conglomeration. They come out to them. Willow comes out, says she's going to squash Decla like the bug that she is.
What?
Kyle says that they will spend the money they won last week to what? I can't write. I can miss the word that I wrote here. Money they won last week to something some more.
So basically, they're like so the conglomeration won one of the money matches, right? And they're like,
Right.
thank you. So they came up to him, and Kyle was trying to smooth him over, like, thank you all for taking Roderick out on his birthday. And Roderick was still like, we call it distant. He's like, you're embarrassing me. Say thank you. And so they're like, well, maybe we still have some of that money left. We go out again, and that's when Willow was like, yeah, man, I wish we could, but I gotta focus on my match. I'm gonna kill that Spur lady like a buck. And so like they all just hype her up, and then they're like, and that's basically the end of the segment. I appreciate this, and the story behind here is Roderick was like basically he's going through a very wave of emotions, which I understand. He's like he came back. He was with his friends. Then it was a feud. He lost his friends. Then he gave his friends back, and now essentially and definitely, Adam Cole is out. So he's like he lost my best friend again. So more so, Kyle is trying not to give him a new faction, but more so like these can be your friends. They don't have to be your best friends, but these can be your friends too. And that'll be a nice little fun little storyline to see. Because I do, even though Petulant was that's what they're called, the
Paragon.
Purdue, whatever, it's a bad name. Even though they're a great tag team, they haven't gotten to the point of, oh, let's challenge for the title, which is kind of disheartening because they're such a great tag team. And on Collision, if nothing, they have great matches. So hopefully this is like a little bit of a nudge to a better storyline and a little bit of a more nudge back into the main event tag team picture. Because correct me if I'm wrong, where was Roderick and Cal even a part of the tag team brackets?
That I saw. I don't remember seeing them in the bracket at all.
And
I think
like,
there was
what
only
the
8 teams in the bracket, so and they
what
weren't
the
one of them.
freak?
So
It might have been them first 2 weeks where we really didn't get a bracket, and they're just doing the team like, hey, if you didn't know, that was part of the tournament.
I
But
lost. They
yeah,
picked 2 weeks ago. That was their eliminator match. So now they're not in it. They're out now.
exactly. So yeah, hopefully this leads them back to more main events things.
Yeah, I mean, obviously without Adam Cole, the Paragon's in trouble, right? I mean, you only have 2
Yeah,
members. And to be fair, as much as I absolutely love Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, neither of them have been booked in their careers ever as main event guys, and they're just that's not where they sit in the pecking order of any wrestling company that they've been in. So, that being said, Adam Cole was really the name and the face of that faction in
right,
that group as he has been since they were, undisputed era on NXT Black and Gold, right?
right.
I'm not saying he's a better
Woo!
wrestler or even has more whatever, but for whatever reason he's over more. He's considered kind of the
A
leader of
bigger
that group. And so with him
personality.
gone, right, with him gone, they're both kind of I feel like rudderless, kind of directionless. So yeah, I mean Kyle goes back to the conglomeration. That seems to make sense. Roddy doesn't really have anything to do. Kyle can convince him maybe to hang out with the conglomeration. I don't know if they actually join them and the Paragon goes away per se like that, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily be opposed to that. I mean, they're a very loose faction, the conglomeration, right? I mean, it's not like they hang out together like the Don Callis family or whatever all the time, or the Herd Syndicate, right? I mean, they just kind of do their own thing and come together when they have to, i.e., like Avenger style, I suppose.
it's a
So
lifestyle.
yeah, in that regard, I mean, I could see Roddy getting a rub from being with them to a certain extent, and it would give him something to do, especially if him and Kyle are going to stay a tag team. Man, it's so hard for me because I really want more for both of them. And I don't know if that's as a tag team or if that's as singles wrestlers. And they don't seem to do anything. They don't seem to get much of a push as singles wrestlers. They don't seem to get much of a push as tag teams either. I mean, they're not in the tag team tournament. They're not. I mean, they're not anywhere close to sniffing a tag team title shot. So I mean, where do they sit in that pecking order? So I don't know. It's tough. I don't. Clearly without Adam Cole, those two guys suffer a lot, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Tony says there's something happening backstage. We see Moxley and Darby uh, basically kidnaps him, puts a towel over his face, and pulls him into the darkness.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? We don't have any.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What'd you think of that?
Kidnapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and
Let's
also
see.
people forget that yes, we all know that Darby climbed the mountain, but how he got off television is that the freaking Death Riders pushed him down a flight of stairs. So
Right.
yeah, I would be a little bit pissed to the point of wanting to hurt somebody. So I approve of this right now. Old school chloroform, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, at this point, it would be. I mean, not that we haven't per se, but Moxley and the Death Riders have been, for all intents and purposes, really, it feels like a couple steps ahead of most of their opponents. And you know, it would be interesting. It's kind of nice to see a slightly different take on that. Where now Moxley is the one being hunted, right? I mean, for a long
Yes.
time, Moxley and the Death Riders have been the hunters. Now Moxley is the prey, and Darby is the hunter. Is doing good in that role, and he's all alone, so he can be much more stealthy than a group of people, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and to separate them from the herd and to start with Moxley, it almost kind of would have been interesting if he had started with somebody else maybe and like took them one by one, like week after week or show after show, like
Yeah.
Wheeler disappears and then Marina disappears and then Claudia and John's all alone. And then John disappears. Like he doesn't know where they are, type of thing. But we'll see what ends up happening.
Right.
Nonetheless, this is good. I'll see. You get to see where Darby takes John and what this comes to. So no, I like this. It's making it interesting.
Me too.
Statlander versus Lena Cross in a Statlander showcase squash match. 1 minute and 25 seconds. Statlander handles her business. I don't even know who Lena Cross is, to be fair. This is really, I guess, as she celebrates and comes up the ramp, we hear Willow's music, and Willow comes out for her match, which I kind of thought as they were passing each other on the ramp, we might have some, but they just kind of went past each other.
It
So,
was just a nice
I,
little glance.
right. So clearly, as we've talked about, when they have nothing better to do with these two, they just kind of have them circle each other. But at the moment, they seem to be in kind of a truce path as they're focused on other things, right?
But also, y'all are gaslighting Statlander right now. Y'all are being really gaslighting. Did you have to hit Willow's theme music right after my match? I couldn't celebrate my match for 10 seconds before listening to this happy-go-lucky chick come down the freaking ramp. Y'all gonna gaslight her now. I'm on Statlander's side with this. You're not gonna gaslight her into thinking that she all this out of her mind and that she's the bad guy.
Yeah, no, I did notice that. I thought that was interesting. Obviously Willow's not the one that's deciding when the music starts and not, right? So that's a production decision. And the question is, why did production decide to do that, right? So no, I mean it's interesting. Unfortunately Stat feels very directionless at the moment. And I don't know, I'm not sure what they're going to do about that. She doesn't, the squash looked good as far as she looks good, but we know what Stat can do. So it's not overly impressive to see her squash somebody at this point. I want to know what they have planned for her long term, and I don't know that they know. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening. Willow versus Thekla with the Triangle of Madness. For the lack of direction for Statlander, at least we have some direction for Willow now. Willow and Thekla are definitely in a feud, as we have the Grapazoid of Trapezoid facing the Thekla from the Triangle of Madness. Solid match. Obviously, the Triangle was there, so they helped. Thekla did get the win, which I thought was, I mean, obviously, as a Willow fan, I'm always disappointed when she takes the loss. But the match was good. It went good. I mean, it was a little over 10 minutes, well, a little over 11 minutes technically. But that's a solid outing. I thought they both had a chance to look good. I thought we got to see all the reasons why Willow is who she is and why she gets the push that she does on a regular basis, or the spots that she does. And we get to see how good Thekla is. I mean, Thekla's really growing on me. I don't care about Sky Blue and Julia Hart as far as her, the Triangle of Madness. That does nothing for me. Um, what do you? So we'll talk about the match, and then we'll talk about post match. What do you think about the match itself? Just the match between Thekla and Willow.
So the match was great. I love the match. Talking about people being directionless. With Tekla, it was supposed to be her and what's her name? It's supposed to be her and Jamie Hayter, but Jamie Hayter
Right.
got hurt, which really sucks. So
Again.
it's like exactly. So the next best thing is Willow, because because basically we want her to be in the Hoss fight, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. There is an issue with you keep making Willow the heater for new people, which I really need you to stop doing. But in this case, it doesn't seem like the feud is over, so I will allow it just this once. But no, the match was great. That overhead suplex was no, yeah, it was a suplex outside of the ring, and then you go
Right.
and
Yeah.
then they go to the what you call, and then she did like a springboard crossbody that looked really good, and of course Willow with her patented clothesline, and I love the Brody. I love the bro. Every time she does a Brody chant, I'm like, reunite again, because that was probably one of the best moments of 2023 for me, with her and Brody King doing the little rivalry, even though it was supposed to be her and Julia. I still loved it. But yeah, and this was, like I said, it was decent. I don't think this doesn't hurt Willow as much as if she goes against Megan Bane and loses, in my opinion. So, and I think she's gonna get a look back, hopefully. So I'm okay with all this.
Yeah. Post match, the Triangle starts beating up Willow, and here comes Megan Bade and Penelope Ford. Weren't
Like
totally sure
what?
what they were going to do. Weren't totally sure what they were going to do, but they come in the ring and start helping the Triangle of Madness beat up on Willow. And then we get Aminata and Ty Mello and Anna Jay with weapons out to run them out and essentially help Willow. Kind of some weird pairings here. I don't know how I feel about Ty Mello and Anna Jay helping Willow, but it is what it is. I mean, these are technically the faces at the moment, and the rest of them are heels. So I guess that's why it makes sense for them to help each other. I'm glad Queen was out here. She's now, getting
Right?
she's got what feels like a regular spot now
In the
in the
main event mix.
AEW women's roster, right? So
Yes.
it felt like she was doing a lot of moving between Ring of Honor and sometimes on AEW Collision here and there. It feels like now she's pretty solid an actual full fledged member of the women's roster on AEW, which is nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I want more for her.
I do.
This was
Yes.
fine. I mean, I guess is this, anytime I start to see multiple people coming together to help each other, my brain automatically goes to that, Anarchy in the Arena, War Games, something like that. And not that they're going to do that, but I just wonder if we're headed towards some sort of big match with all of these women against each other, on sides. So faces
Well,
versus
like
heels in the women.
the women's blood and guts has not happened yet, and it felt like that should have happened a long time ago. You still need one more big player to do it, but I'm all here for if y'all want to do it right now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, why the frick not?
Anything you want to say about the post match stuff?
Um, I late to the game, so I was kind of like, huh? Why are we fighting each other? But more so, like, why is Megan Bane and the Dark Witches together? And I guess we're
Right.
just baseline of we're all bad guys, which is it is what it is. Even though, like, come on, we could do so much better than we're the bad guys. Let's try. Let's try to let's be up the good guy. That's basically what it feels like. More so, I guess the women coming out to help Willow was more so I like that part of it's not because of Willow. We love her. She's our chick, but this Megan Bain chick been terrorizing us and we ain't gonna do it no more. I agree. I like that part I like the aspect of it. So yeah, all right. It was fine. It was fine. Not again, not sure where we're going with this, but we'll see where we're at.
Yeah. We get Billy Gunn with Lexi there. He's backstage talking. Here comes Bowens, all fired up and pissed off. No phone call, no text. You said you would be there for the match, and then you left me high and dry on my match against Max. What's going on here, Billy? Where are we? What are you doing? Anthony says, oh no, let's see. Bowens wants to know where he was. Billy says he doesn't know him anymore, and he'll be at home. And Anthony Bowens basically says, "Go ahead and walk away like a coward." Well, I mean, what do you think about what do you think about all this? This is clearly Bowen's heel turn after last week against Caster, and leading up to this, and now the shedding of Billy Gunn essentially, and the split between the two of them. What do you think of this?
I I don't know what I feel about this. For years, we're like, do they need Billy? But again, like it wasn't. I don't think we all were like, yes, let's end it like this. And it's like, no, we wanted you to end it a little bit better than this because there were a great trio, a good faction. But I guess it is what it is. Whatever. Like okay, this was fine. So the story is, bro. What's his name? Anthony Bones is trying to find himself, essentially, more so trying to get back an edge to win stuff, to win matches. So on that aspect, it's fine. But like, can we get a little bit more concrete of a story? Is what my mind is. We need more of a concrete story of I'm losing, so I'm just gonna go butt crack crazy. Like, can we get a little bit more, a little bit more
Yeah,
consistency? That's all I'm
yeah,
asking. So like, this was
I
fine for what
agree.
it was.
I mean, I feel like you said, we debated when the Acclaim took on Billy Gunn whether they really needed him, and then clearly I'm not saying clearly they did, but clearly he helped them because I mean
He
they
definitely
got
helped them.
over
Yes.
big time. I mean, they were very over, as a whatever. Um, and I don't know if the scissor me was a Billy Gunn thing or I don't know who came up with that behind the scenes, backstage, but whoever did, that's brilliant. And they were so it's definitely interesting to see the direction that they've sent the three of these guys in. I don't know that I'm necessarily here for Bowens as a heel. I guess time will tell. We'll see what ends up happening. I mean, it's very early. Obviously, it's like 2 weeks now or whatever, and he still hasn't technically, you know. I suppose his actions towards Castor might make it official, and then this with Billy, maybe he's officially, but he hasn't technically come out and said, not that they do, but you know what I mean, like the official, like, oh, I'm actually a
Right.
heel, like,
Right now, it's just
right.
frustration. It's not like
So,
a heel turn. It's just
we'll see if it's
frustration.
a full fledged heel turn and how that ends up working out. I don't want to say that they need Billy Gunn, but there's a reason why he's been as successful in his career as he has been. And he's one of those
Yeah.
guys that he has it, right. He has that kind of magnetic personality that people like and flock to. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, when you're in the ring with him by default, when he's on your side or whatever, yeah, you get the rub. I mean, there's certain guys that I feel like really give a good rub, and he's one of those guys, like one of those guys. So no, he's extremely talented, he's extremely entertaining, and I don't necessarily want him to go away. So in that regard, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
If he's not doing something with Bowens or with Castor, is he going to be doing anything? He says he's going to be sitting at home. So I don't know. I mean, I understand he's old and all that stuff, and I don't need to see a whole lot, but I sure like seeing him as kind of their hype man and their corner guy. So yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting.
Like maybe just a break.
It's
Like take a break, and then when Anthony's on his last leg, you come and finally like, are you done? Are you done being a butthole? Are you gonna come back to be? Are you coming back to come together and we actually win some stuff?
it's very interesting to see how over a group can be, and then when they split them up, how not over the individuals can, how far they can fall and not get over
Yeah.
on their own. I'm not going to say that neither of these guys are getting over on their own, but at this point, like I've said, it feels like they're burying Max Caster. And Anthony Bowens feels kind of directionless, so I'm not really sure.
No, more no. This was always the worry of breaking up tag teams is one person's gonna go somewhere and one person's not, and it's not even that they're both, not even that one person is better than the other. It's just a natural selection thing when it comes to that. So like sometimes I do appreciate the tag teams who are like, you know what, we're gonna stay together until we can build both each other up. So when I leave or we both disband, we're not like, I don't have to worry about you. When I say worry about you, like more so, I don't have to worry about if you're going to, what's the word? If you're going to be, if you're going to basically keep your career after I'm gone.
Yeah,
Because some people they get fired because
yeah. I want better for definitely for Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. So I guess we'll end up seeing what happens. But let's see. We get
yeah.
earlier in the day, Swerve and Nana are talking about how the Bucks are without power now, thanks to Swerve and his friends. Um, he said you might not have the power, but that doesn't mean you still can't take out the Outrunners. Uh, he says he's gonna have set the Bucks straight. As far as Okada goes, you can't wave that title around in front of his face because he's gonna take it, and he wants a match at Forbidden Door. We're gonna have a conversation about that. Whose house? Swerve's house.
Where's home?
What do you think of this little Swerve promo?
Nice little hype up. Like Okada is the international champion, and like it's not the main event, but it is in the middle. So it is one of the things where it's like let's definitely make sure, let's remind people of why we're doing this match. Cause it could get murky a little bit. They're like, hold up, wait. So why are you beefing? Like, nope, this is what happened. It was the Young Bucks with Okada, and Okada was mad at me because I took the EVP's title. But now he's a whiny little boy right now because I did that, and so now I got to prove something to him. But he also got a title, and me having gold around my waist ain't a bad thing at all either. So yeah, that nice little recap basically.
Yeah. And then we come to Okada and Callis. Callis says we got a lot of gold here. He says Okada is the best belt to belt wrestler in the world. He says Swerve, you're a great athlete, but you're missing, and what Okada has is class. um, let's see, what else does he say? He says you took advice from a backup dancing, coffee pushing, degenerate piece of garbage. Uh, let's see. If you're looking for us to cower, and if you're looking for an answer, Okada has it for you. And then Okada says, "I'll see." I think he says, "Let's fight, bitch." In the classic Okada, now that they've relegated him to one-word answers, essentially, the Ron Simmons response.
No.
Um, this is fine. Again, obviously this is a continuation. Swerve goes off, and then we get this. So Okada's talking about Swerve and all this stuff. I don't believe that Okada is the best belt to belt wrestler in the world. He has been holding those title, or he has held that title down for a little bit. I kind of think Swerve beats him.
Top 10?
No,
Can you give him
not
top
for
10?
me.
You are such a hater.
I mean, maybe objectively, could maybe get him in a list for AEW, but like subjectively, no, just because I don't like the way he works. I don't like him, and I don't like the way he works. So, his matches don't. I'm not a big fan of his matches in general. But that being said, I'm very interested to see Swerve beat him for that title at Forbidden Door, which I kind of hope happens. I feel like I think Swerve needs a title because he is what he is, but at the same time, it feels weird for Swerve to not have a belt. So
Yeah.
I really hope he beats Okada. And just because, yeah, I just hope he beats Okada. Um,
It's definitely been too long since he had gold, but he's not beating Okada. So you can just get that out your brain cells. It's not
Mm,
happening.
mm, 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 mm. Well, they've made the match official
I,
for
I,
Forbidden Door. It is
yeah,
good.
I'm gonna leave and then come back out.
It is Swerve and Okada officially at Forbidden Door for the unified title, the international and continental championships that they unified. Um, so that should be good. Even if I don't like Okada, I can appreciate the fact that a lot of people do, and that he put fans in the seats. So people come to watch Okada. So I can acknowledge that. That's fine. All
What you
right,
said?
Miss
What
Nika.
else you said?
I just said that even though I don't like him, I can acknowledge that he is liked and that he's a fan favorite, and that people he puts fans. He sells tickets, right? So
Right.
people love the Okada. So yeah, it is
Yeah.
what it is. Ah, AEW Tag Team Eliminator semifinal match between FTR with Big Stoke and the Bang Bang Gang. It is actually Juice and was it Austin Gunn or
Austin.
Colton?
But I'm like that. Yo, this for this being a great faction, y'all keep getting hurt, bro. What is going on?
Yeah. Let's see.
I
So we
love
get one of the Guns with Juice versus FTR, which unfortunately, even though I mean, so several things here. FTR is talked about and considered way up here. Bang Bang Gang as a faction is what it is as a tag team. The Guns held the belts for a little bit, but their run was always whatever, debatable about how good it was and did they deserve it in the first place and all those things.
yeah.
Would they have gotten it if they weren't with the Bang Bang Gang? All those things. So, um, just on its face, you're missing one of the Guns, so you're missing some continuity between the brothers, right? That they have because they're the actual tag team of the faction, right?
Right.
So you've got the best tag team, one of the best tag teams in the world, FTR, going against Juice, and like I said, I don't even remember if it was Austin or Colton, but um, so by default, you already the scales are tipping in FTR's favor here, right? So,
Yeah.
and as that being said, FTR did get the win, but they did have to steal it to a certain extent. It wasn't an easy win. It was a
It
15-minute
was.
match, and I did think that Juice and why can't I remember which Austin,
It was
Austin,
Austin. Yeah, it was
um,
Austin.
it was Austin and Juice. I thought they gave FTR a good run for their money. We often, you especially, but we have complained about sometimes matches being too long, and that anywhere from 9 to 11, right around 10 minutes is roughly the sweet spot. Don't do 10 minutes if you can't. Keep
Right.
it where you can. This went 15, and it didn't feel like 15. I thought it felt like it didn't feel long. There wasn't a point where I was like, "Oh, this match is going on." Like it felt like it took the time it needed to come out the way that it did. And FTR did get the win and advance to the finals in the tag team number one contender tournament. We did think it would be them versus the Young Bucks, but the Young Bucks are out. So we'll see who they end up facing in the finals as we continue to review the show in Dynamite. But what do you think of this match and FTR getting the win here and
Great match.
advancing to the finals?
Great match. You can tell that Juice and the Guns have really trained together because even though it wasn't the brothers, Austin and Juice really paired well together, and I love that. And you're going against FTR. They are definitely top 5 tag teams in the world. So it really is like if FTR has a bad match, we're looking towards you. So no, it was so great. The whole I know getting Austin working Austin while Juice was impatiently waiting. Side note, I love the beginning of their entrance where they had the cardboard cut out of Jay and Cole because you can't do it just with 2 people. So
Yeah, the
cardboard
cardboard cutouts
Jay
were great.
back.
I thought that was hysterical.
I love that. That will never get old.
It threw me off at first. I thought, and I was like, oh, "Shit,
like,
that's hysterical."
full on, guns up. So yeah, great match. Did not like one of the things like I said, you need one of the main teams to get to the finals or semifinals. So I'm not surprised at all. But Austin and Juice are a great tag team together. That's make no about they make no bones about it. They are really good together, and hopefully, whilst the other two are injured, we can keep this going and keep the tag team division a little bit more higher up as needed. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Let's see. We had a technique with Taz segment. Techniques with Taz. He's highlighting Athena's O-face finisher and just how it works, what it is, how good it is, all those things, and then that brings out our forever Ring of Honor champion, Miss Athena. She didn't cash in her title shot because she wanted Storm to think about it. Are you not entertained yet? Are you not paying attention to her yet? She'll sign the contract and cash it in London at Forbidden Door. Storm doesn't have the best of luck in London. So the Forbidden Champion is going to add another title to her collection because when the Forbidden Champion activates, no one can stop her. What do you think of this? What do you think of this little techniques with Taz? And then Athena coming on.
He used to do this in the panorama, and I missed it because he used to do like it wasn't called technique, but it was called like Coach Tag analyzing stuff, and that's how we got Team Tag versus Sting and Darby, which was a low key great little rivalry that no one talks about, but it's fine. But so I am glad they're bringing it back because it is a very nice little like. And again, definitely need this for Athena because Athena's been Athena's been behind that paywall for a very long time. Like just in case you didn't know, this is Athena. This is her old face. This is how incredibly hard hitting it is. Appreciate the technique. And then Athena's thing, I think it's like I want her to win. I want her to win so bad. I want more for Athena, but it feels like after this, I'm scared that after this little little program that she's gonna go back behind the paywall. We'll never see her again. And I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. But yeah, no, this was great. She's like, yeah, hey, they're like, hello, minions. This is your overlord speaking, and we needed this feud because this contract was what's the word? It's more so like Money in the Bank, where you can do it at any time. So everyone after Dynamite was like, well, why did you cash it in? She was down. She was like, so we definitely needed like, this is why I didn't cash it in because it was too easy. I want a grand. My ego got in the way, and I want a grand spectacle of when I beat you. And so we're gonna do it at Forbidden Door. And I'm like, okay, thank you for proof. Thank you for showing people that it was not a dumb decision. It was just a decision. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm hoping that this is going to do enough to solidify Athena on the AEW main roster that she doesn't just slip back into ROH. I mean, obviously, as the ROH Forever Women's Champion, she's got to go defend that until somebody beats her for it, or she vacates it to go, be on the AEW roster, whatever she chooses to do. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that at this point she's not going back ultimately, not full time back behind, to Ring of Honor, and that
at least keep
she's shown. I think she's shown by leaps and bounds that she's every bit as good as any woman that's on the AEW roster doing what they're doing. So, I mean, I don't think she's come across as being inferior to Tony Storm in any way or Mercedes Moné, and they're your two current, AEW women's title holders. So, she seems like a viable opponent for either of them for either of those belts. They could have gone either way. So yeah, I mean, if she's competing for, one of your two belts. I mean, in theory, she should be, a main event player on the main roster all the time. So hopefully that's where she stays. We'll see what ends up happening. Obviously, they've got to decide what to do with that Ring of Honor title on her waist. But other than that, hopefully she stays on the, stay in the main roster. Clearly, it's not like it's NXT and Raw and
Yeah.
SmackDown, but it does. Honor does kind of have that feel to it, like it's the developmental area for AEW, and AEW is the main roster, or whatever Dynamite Collision is the main roster, right? So, Max Caster. Max Caster is in the ring again. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. Let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive, despite having the worst chant ever. He says, this is not what I wanted. It's clear no one can hang with me. Just like Bowens, you guys get worse every week, just like Anthony Bowens. I know it's not me. I'm not boring you. I'm not a bland crybaby bitch like Anthony Bowens. But this is platinum. But it's time for the Platinum 5 Open Challenge. So let's put 5 on the clock and see who can survive with the best wrestler alive. And here comes his opponent. Roosh comes to the ring. I don't know that Roosh truly understands that, because the idea is you're supposed to beat Max Caster, but Roosh lacks it up.
Or more so, you only have 5 minutes to beat Max Caster. Like, you don't have a lot of time, bro. You gotta beat him now.
Yeah, I'm not sure Roosh totally understood, but the match itself was fine. Roosh did get the win.
No, he didn't. He did it.
Say that again?
He didn't get the win. The time ran out.
Well, he survived the 5 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't survive the 5 minutes. So, yeah.
Right.
He was doing too much, and so he put his foot on the boot. He put the foot on Caster. He told the ref to count, and the ref's like, no, sir, like, no, the time's over. You lost. Like, what?
But technically he won, right? Because he survived the 5 minutes. I mean, that's why there was obviously some confusion as far as the challenge itself doesn't make any sense. Because yes, the goal is to survive 5 minutes, and Roosh survived 5 minutes. So technically he should be the winner, but he didn't beat him in under 5 minutes. So it turns out, I guess he's gonna lose.
Yes.
I don't know. That's what makes this segment really, really, really bad. Unfortunately for Roosh. It's not a bad segment.
It's very convoluted. I would say convoluted.
When we can't watch, when we don't know when they don't know and that's bad. Sorry, I don't know what to say about that. But it definitely didn't come off to me as very good in that respect. But what did you think about all this?
I agree with you. This could have been more what's the word? This could have been more explained. We'll say explain. Where it's like, okay, are we surviving, or you have to beat me? Right now, we're going to assume you have to beat him under 5 minutes. And so with that being said, Max didn't get beat. He didn't get pinned. So it's a win for Max. And so in that aspect, this is the first win for Max. I'm calling it. This is the first win for Max, and I'm here for it. So yay! You are the best wrestler alive.
We got to see the record book, because I know that they keep track of who wins and losses. I want to see who actually got the win or loss for that match. Because the idea is that Max is good enough to beat anybody in 5 minutes. So if you can last more than 5 minutes, technically you're the winner. So, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, bad segment. Let's see. What happened next? Let's see. Drew Listico, Mortis come down to beat down Matt Caster.
Yeah.
Jet Speed and AR Fox come in for the save. Everybody fights up the ramp. And Max is left in the middle of the ring. He raises his fist and proves that he is, in fact, not dead. What do you think about the little post-match stuff?
Now this is when I got confused. Cause I'm like, hold up, what? Like, why do these people have beef? Oh, like, I get Rouge wanting to beat the dude up because you feel cheated, but on the flip side of it is, oh, but why did Beanball and AR Fox come out for the same? That made it like, huh? That part made it like I didn't understand what was going on. But besides that, I'm fine with this.
I mean, I didn't know that Jet Speed and Fox were feuding with Mortos and Dralistico or Rouge. I mean, they didn't. I guess they're just the resident. They're the resident good guys. So anytime a good guy's getting beat up, they just are the one to come down. Being said, Max Caster's not even a good guy. Max Caster's a heel at the moment. So you've got face Jet Speed and face AR Fox coming to the aid of heel Max Caster, who's getting beat up by heel Mortos, Dralistico, and Rouge, which is okay. All right. And isn't Mortos in the Callis family? Oh, no, that's Hechicero. Sorry. That's Hechicero.
Yes.
All right. So another confusing segment. We see Mercedes Moné defending her Rev Pro Championship earlier in the week. She has 8 belts, and she'll be back on Dynamite next week.
Yes.
Anything about this Mercedes, the recap of her defending her title, and just her coming back to Dynamite next week. Let me tell you, just real quick, I think it's a little odd. Like, we know who she is. We know that she's a regular in AEW. She's one of your title holders. Like, why we assume she's going to be on. Like, I mean, I guess it's whatever. Like, it implies that maybe she hasn't been on, and she's been on, I feel like, every week. So, I mean, I feel like we see her every single week, either on Collision or on Dynamite in some way, shape, or form. So it's not like she's been gone for 2 months and now, she'll be on. I mean, I guess you're hyping it up. You always want to whatever, but it's like, okay. I assume she'd be there.
On Dynamite, she hasn't been here since she lost to Tony. So she hasn't been here for roughly 2 or 3 weeks.
What was that? 2 weeks ago that she
It does feel longer. It feels longer to me. Like that was in July. That was
July 21st, I think, or something it was. So yeah, I guess it's in her 20. I forget what it was. 21st, 29th, something like that. So
you're back and welcome back. It's fine. I'm cool with it. And more, that's what I was gonna say. And more so, giving more of a stability of why the 8 belts matter. Like it's one thing to carry the 8 belts. It's just like, oh, it's just decoration. No, it actually is actual champions from other championships from other companies. So it's like, yes, let's show them that it's not just decoration. She actually goes off and defends the title. So that's really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess in that regard, it's fine. I just, I don't know. I thought it struck me as a little odd, but again, is what it is. We get our obligatory multi-man match, 6-man chaos coming. Shane Taylor Promotions with Anthony Ogogo and Trish Adora versus Skyflight with Layla Gray and Christopher Daniels. Layla Gray, I feel like we haven't seen her in a minute. I don't know what she's been doing, but I haven't noticed her in a minute. It's always great to see Christopher Daniels. Skyflight gets the win here. At the expense of Shane Taylor Promotions. It's really the infantry, but still, it's good to see Scorpio Sky back. It's good to see Scorpio Sky Black. It's good to see Scorpio Sky back. So in that regard, I'm happy. And, I'm a Christopher Daniels fan. I'm a Christopher Daniels fan. So, him on my TV is always fun. I'm glad that he's not wrestling. Because he shouldn't be anymore at this point. And it's fun to see Layla Gray. I'm still not totally sure. Okay, let me say this. I want more for Shane Taylor Promotions, just as a general rule. I want more for them. Taking losses is frustrating. And I'm not sure that I see that. I guess if this is ultimately going to result in some sort of actual push for Skyflight, then it makes sense. But if it's not, then it really doesn't. I mean, I guess it is what it is. They're not pushing Shane Taylor Promotions really either. So I don't know. The whole thing just seems kind of weird. I mean, not weird. I mean, you need wrestlers, you need matches. I don't know. I don't know.
No, this was a very this made I would say it made no sense more so because you just had Shane Taylor Productions walk up on Cal's family, and now we're fighting these guys. But I guess you need them to have a starter match of officially being a team. You couldn't pick anybody else. Whatever, it's not fine, but it's fine. But more so like you said, positives. I am glad that Scorpio Sky is back. He looks so good. He looks like he's been training. He looks good with the top flight, which is great because like who's the trios? We done forgot who the trio it is. So like to the trios titles, we still need to build up. Like that's one of the main things. That's one of the main reasons why people are apprehensive of bringing trios titles inside, because if you have focus on tag teams, it feels like either whatever you focus on, you can't focus on both. Either tag teams are good and your trios are bad, or trios are good and your tag teams are bad. So I'm like, what? Like the ops are the trios champions, but
You barely even know that, really. I mean, you know it if you know it, but like it's not like they advertise it a ton or they're defending it a bunch. Or I mean, it's
right.
not. It's
Well, more so, Samoa Joe got some press. He had to do some press things for Twisted Metal, get that extra money. But yeah, either way, you can still bring out Will Hobbs and Shibata. Maybe have someone stand in for Samoa Joe until he gets back. Something.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's. I mean, to a certain extent, some of it I kind of understand. You know, when the trios are going good, a lot of the trios include some of the best tag teams in the world, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's just the nature of the. So I can kind of see why it might be hard to have both a tag team division thriving and a trios division thriving at the same time. But you could still do a better job than you've done. I mean, one shouldn't necessarily have to be at the full expense of the other. It's like I
yeah,
feel like there's a lot of it's like Tony focuses on one thing at a time as opposed to spreading it out. Like, okay, this is this week's focus or this month's focus, and the rest of this just kind of sits until we're done dealing with this, and then we'll talk about this again. And it's like, in the meantime, the problem is that this that you haven't talked about now in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or six, people forgotten about and lose interest. And so when you try to then switch gears, it's not ramped up enough. It's not warmed up to the point where people are engaged in it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, I don't. It does. It is kind of tough. So I don't know. When you have, I guess the idea is that Tony's basically doing everything creative wise. I mean, I'm sure he's got plenty of help, but
He's
he's the
checking the
final
boxes
whatever, and he's
creative wise. Yeah,
he's the head of creative, and that's it's a lot for one person in theory to do, to try to find energy in their mind to come up with a storyline for everyone that deserves it, space for everyone that deserves it, something quality. I mean, as you can tell, I mean, it's hard. I would say more often than not, we get misses from whatever company it is on storylines, and we get hits, right? Just in general. I think the bad storylines outweigh the good storylines if you were to jot them all down on paper. It seems very hard to get consecutive good storylines, especially for one person, let alone for multiple people at the same time. So, I guess it is what it is.
yeah.
Um, we get some more Don and Jarby. Don and Jarby, Darby and John. Holy
What's going on with you, sir?
Darby and Don, John
John
and Darby.
Moxley and Darby Allin. We see where Darby Allin
Darby
dragged
is
Moxley.
dragging Moxley up a fire escape. He's going to drop him on the track. Out.
Sir,
Uh, let's see. Security shows up to break it up. They haul Darby away, and he says he would have dropped John's ass. What do you think of this?
I would listen. I was here for this because, like I said, you want to get some payback, but baby, that's murder. You can't do this because that's murder. So like you took it a little too far.
Well,
That's a little too far.
listen,
Not a lot far, but just a little too far. Uh, but I understand the notion, and I get, and I like to like if this didn't put a fear in Moxley, I don't know what will, because baby, you almost got him alive. I love. This is what I wanted from last week, or even the weeks to come in Collision. A narrative, the whole what you call it, a narrative, the whole, I'll say whole story, the whole show, where it's like we started off with Moxley trying to find Darby. We ended with Darby almost throwing him off a fire escape. Okay, again, I like that. I like a long story narrative. So this was all A plus.
yeah, I mean, I thought that the Darby and Moxley stuff was really good. I enjoyed that. I think it's by far the best stuff that was on Collision this week. Um, that brings us to our main event. TNT title match, Chicago Street Fight, between your current champion, TNT champion Dustin Rhodes, and Kyle Fletcher, the challenger with Don Callis. Um, you know, I think at this point everyone fairly knew that, unfortunately for Dustin, that Kyle was probably going to be beating him for this title, as that seems the next, you know, step in Kyle Fletcher's evolution as a superstar is a singles title, and this is a good spot to start. I know that Tony talks about wanting his titles to all be equal, but the reality is that a lot of times they're not. And this one is definitely, it is what it is in the TNT championship. So, um, you know, Kyle, it's good for Kyle in his career. I feel bad for Dustin because you get this kind of like, I don't know. It feels like just the guy to hold the belt for a minute, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. Adam Cole's injury, obviously, they had to pivot and do something. I mean, they could have just given the belt to Kyle at that time, but I kind of understand why they put it on Dustin, why they had Dustin win the match at All In. It was in Texas. They were just coming off the Adam Cole promo right before the match, and it was a big feel good story. Um, Now watching him lose it doesn't quite feel so good. It feels more like the way it should be, which is Kyle Fletcher's a TNT champion, especially for those of you haters that didn't like Dustin Rhodes or don't like Dustin Rhodes or didn't like him as TNT champion, Miss Anika.
I think you
Um,
won. Call me a hater you want to,
but
but okay.
but and you know what, honestly, as this is gonna sound kind of whatever, but it probably shows that he probably shouldn't have won because he has been injured. And now Dustin Rhodes is going to be gone for like 6 to 8 months. He says he won't be back until 2026. And at this point, as much as I absolutely love Dustin Rhodes, I, you know, double knee surgery at 55, I don't know if I would be coming back to wrestling. So we'll see what next year looks like. I mean, I, and nothing else, I'd love to see Dustin back, in some sort of capacity as a manager, as a consultant, as behind the scenes, something match production. I hope he's able to do something in wrestling, but at this point now, it's probably time to call it quits in the ring, just with what's going on with his knees and his age and all that stuff. And if this is the end of his career, yet I wish it had been. God, how ideal it would have been if he had gotten one more win over Kyle Fletcher, a clean win or something, and then lost or something like that. But nonetheless, at least he gets this opportunity to have this singles title, kind of in the very twilight of his career. One more kind of, goodbye moment, feel good moment for him. And now I guess, everything's right because Kyle Fletcher has the TNT title. What do you think about all of this and the injury and so on?
So more so, um, I disagree with basically everything you just said. I will say this, right? You made a decision to put the belt on him. So we all knew, like you said, we all knew that it was going to end. I didn't think it was going to end on Collision. I really thought it was like, can we at least do it on Forbidden Door? No, no. Oh, okay, fine. Collision's fine. So, with that aspect, like if you're going to put the belt on someone, at least let them lose in a grander stage. This is definitely probably how. This is definitely probably how Dustin wanted to go out in a old school barn burner of just beat the crap out of me. I want to bleed my own blood, but I don't understand why it wasn't a Forbidden Door. Either way, uh, very violent match. Very violent match. You didn't have to stab him with a screwdriver in his leg. That was just a lot for an old freaking
A
man.
little unnecessary. A little
It was
unnecessary.
unnecessary. You didn't have to do it.
Uh,
But understandably, what happened where it needed it, where Cal is now the winner. They did a grand spectacle after he won, where he put the Cal's family came up, put him on his shoulders. You are now a champion. This is where Cal should be, and hopefully Cal gets better. And fine way to end like it is, like you said, this was a okay way to, what you call it, to end a, we'll call it a rivalry program. We'll call it a program. It's more so a program than a rivalry. To end the program and give Kyle the belt. I still would have thought it should have been on Forbidden Door, but understandably, you don't want. I guess you gave him the belt. You don't want to put Dusty Rose on a free pay per view, but fine, whatever. It is what it is. Cal's champ. Okay, fine. Let's move on.
what's your grade for the show for this week? That was the main event. That was the end of the
That was
show.
the
So
main
what's your?
event. Um, this was fun. This was fun. It's more no, honestly it was. And then you had a little bit of a more of a storyline going out through the story, going out through the show more than usual. So I like that. A good main event. Even however we thought this TNT Championship was going to go with Dustin Rhodes, it was a good main event, and so I'll give it. The only craziness was the, like, if we're going to do if we're going to do faction rivalry, can we do it a little bit better? We definitely need to do it a little bit better, like more so with the Shane Taylor going against Don Callis, but no, they're going against Skyflight, and then whole after Matt Cassidy does his match, we have Rush's team come out, but Speedball and Mike, yeah, and them, like that was a whole, like, huh? It was like those two segments was, that definitely was like a what situation. So with that being said, I'm talking a lot. I'm gonna give it a B minus. Yeah, yeah.
Funny, we are so on the same page because that was a grade that was in my head. I was going to give it a B minus. It felt like a very up and down show. I thought that the two tag team qualifier matches were very good, or the two tag team tournament matches were very solid. I thought the main event, even though it was predictable with Kyle Fletcher winning, I thought they let Dustin Rhodes have a good showcase going out. I thought the match was very solid for what it was. Um, the women still only had, if I'm not mistaken, the one match, which still is not enough for them. Um,
Yeah.
they need more. And in that regard, it wasn't even the best situation. I wasn't necessarily hot on that situation with Willa and Beck. I mean, it came out okay, but it was still a little bit of a mess. And then, like you said, we had the 6-man match that was whatever. And then the stuff with Max Caster. So those were the down parts. The up parts were the two tag team tournament matches, the main event, and the Moxley, the Dawn and Jarby, as I so eloquently put it before, the Darby Allen and John Moxley stuff that was going on throughout the show, the long term storytelling throughout the 2 hours of the show. Those were the best things that happened. So it wasn't. There was nothing terribly egregious, like, oh my god, I
Oh,
can't believe they did this. Although the Max Caster stuff, it kind of rode that fence for me a little bit. So yeah, I think a B minus is right. That was a grade that was in my head before you gave your grade. So it seems like we've been basically on the same wavelength the last few weeks, and have been given the same
yes.
grades to most shows. So AEW Collision gets a D minus from both myself and Miss Anika. So we'll switch gears, and Anika will take over, leading us through AEW Dynamite.
Ladies, boys, and girls. All right, this is AEW Dynamite from last Wednesday, and last Wednesday was in August of something.
It was August 6th.
August 6th, and we are still. Where are we? In over here? Is that we're still in Chicago?
This was in the Wolstein Center in Cleveland, Ohio.
Fair Cleveland. Okay. So crazy enough, we start this off with a Moxley versus Speedball Mike Bailey match. This was not saying that I'm mad at it, but definitely wasn't on my bingo card. Where it's like, Moxley will like. I'm not saying I never thought he was gonna go against Mike Bailey, but this was very much so surprising, but in the best way possible because this was such a great match. We're getting back to reminding people of, hey, Moxley can actually wrestle. He's not just a death rider. He's not just a death match person or anything. He's actually a wrestler. Period. And he's actually decent. And going against people like Bailey, he's probably the best inside though for a for this square circle. And this was going high energy, high impact. I loved every minute of this. And then we have, you see, Death Rider haven't disbanded yet. We got Marina Shafir on the side, waiting to pick her spots to, just pick up to just give some extra punches to Speedball. But here comes his boy Kevin Knight to help his boy out. I like the little stare down for some reason where him and Marina. I love Marina not like Marina's in her basically Rhea Ripley bag. It's like, look, what you gonna do? What you gonna like? Listen, if you're gonna be out here hitting dudes, it's gonna be equal opportunity out here. And I love that. I love that energy. I love that energy. And so we not only have Marina, Wheeler is actually out here to help out as well. At the end, Wheeler tries to help Moxley win. It doesn't work. So in shock, we have Wheeler just backing away to the barricade, and here comes Darby with the kidnapping brigade to kidnap someone else, and he just hems up Wheeler and just drags him out of the freaking crowd. That was hilarious. And then that's more of a distraction, but the distraction is not enough. Moxley comes in with a bulldog that can choke. When Speedball wasn't tagging out, straight up death. Is it called, what's it called? Is it a pendulum, or he doesn't change it like so many times?
It's a Death Rider now. It's a Paragon. Paradigm shift.
Paragon, or basically a full-on DDT where you have to hike him up before you drag his face to the ground. 1, 2, 3. Moxley wins, and understandably so. But great opener to AEW. Great opener. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this. Like I said about Collision, when Darby kidnapped Moxley, then I thought the storyline would be great if he continued to kidnap other members of the Death Riders. Obviously, he had the security finally did their job for the first time in the history of professional wrestling and saved John Moxley on Collision. So we do still have John Moxley alive and with us, no longer in Darby's possession, but now he has Wheeler Yuta, so we'll see what he does with Wheeler Yuta. I kind of hope that we get some sort of cinematic stuff with this, where like Wheeler's in a basement tied to a table or something, and he can't get free, chained up, some crazy Darby shit, some Saw type stuff maybe. I'm not a big horror fan, but just something cool like that would be kind of fun. Some cinematic stuff, Darby torturing him or something. But that being said, I thought the match itself was really good. I'm happy that Speedball gets this spot against Moxley. Moxley just was your AEW World Champion, so there's a singles match against your 4-time former AEW World Champion. Maybe arguably, if Hangman's the heart and soul of AEW, John Moxley's, the gun of AEW, the spear of AEW. He's the violence to a certain extent. He's also proven that he can do it without having it have to be a street fight. I thought that, you know,
Yeah.
Speedball for me between the ropes, like you said, him, Osprey, Kenny Omega. There's several guys that I consider all kind of in that between the ropes are the best, going, and Speedball's up there, just the actual in ring movement and all that stuff. So Moxley's showing that he can still go at his age with a younger guy that's much faster and much more up tempo. I thought it came off well. It
Yeah.
shows that Moxley still can really go. I it went 15 minutes, which was good. It gives Bailey a nice showcase and a chance to look really good. And then you give Moxley the win, as he should. And then you get the other stuff. So, no, I mean, I with Darby. So I thought it was all really good. I do, I think Marina Shafir is definitely in her bag.
Yeah.
Before she was ever associated with the Death Riders and John Moxley, um, she was trying to get over with her wrestling because she lacks a little personality to a certain extent. She was
Yeah.
bland
Yeah.
before,
Yeah.
and it wasn't necessarily working.
Yeah.
And I feel I feel both good and bad for her. I'm very happy that she is found a niche that is getting her some success. I think she's
Yes.
instead of falling into a Moxley vortex, I think she's been able to actually get the rub off of that, and she's looked really good in being John Moxley's muscle or bodyguard, whatever support animal, emotional support animal, right? Um, at the same time, we've seen very, very, very little of her between the ropes showing what she can actually do as a wrestler. She's had a couple matches and she's been involved in hitting people and all those things, but a one-on-one woman's match with her against another woman where she can actually show what she can do. And I think that ultimately she'd love to be able to do that more. I think, her goal would be to be a successful singles women's wrestler. So I don't know if at some point we're going to try to get back to that, or so I'm happy that she's thriving. At the same time, I want to see if she can get that wrestling to where the fans like seeing her wrestling. Because she's been in GCW, her wrestling was really good. I mean, it was really good and very enjoyable. So the fact that even her prior wrestling in AEW wasn't as good as her GCW stuff, and I'm hoping that ultimately, whenever this relationship ends with Moxley, that she's in a spot where she can end up in the women's division and actually start having a singles women's wrestling career. But no, yeah, I thought the stuff between her and what you call it was a lot of fun. Kevin Knight. So yeah, I mean, she's great. Her body language. I think being with Moxley, not just has gotten on TV. I think it's being with Moxley's actually rubbed off on her. He's taught her how to do more body language stuff, be more expressive with her body, how to kind of get over with the crowd more without using words and all that kind of stuff. And she's becoming much better, and she has more personality than she did before. So yeah, I thought this from top to bottom was very good opener for the show.
Yeah. No, this was really good, and I more so it feels like Marina likes where she's at. I think, of course, she wants a one-on-one match, but I think right now she's good with actually being on television and just being active in some kind of role. We did have
Yeah.
her versus Willow a little bit, and so hopefully we'll go. Hopefully it will come back to maybe like her versus Big and Bane or so someone else. I wouldn't mind that at all. All right, but the match is over. Side note, my bad. Dynamite did not really open with a this match. It actually opened with MJF. Just a little bit of a promo to his main event match where he's like basically, uh, he's going against Mark Briscoe. He's like, I don't really care for you. I don't care. You don't have anything that I want. But because the hanger says I have to go through you to get a title, a chance at back to win back my triple B, well then so be it. So that's a nice little hype up for the main event. Any thoughts on the promo for MJF?
I mean, just that it's classic MJF. I mean, that's what he does best. I've said it on here. I think he's probably the best talker in the business at the moment. And I think he's the best heel in the business at the moment. So yeah, I mean, this is great. I mean, continue to keep, your feud and your rivalry fresh in people's minds. And yeah, I mean, him versus Hangman for the world championship is going to be entertaining
Right.
when it ultimately ends up happening.
And so now we have a backstage interview with Renee Paquette with Tony Storm and her new best bud, Alex Windsor. Tonight we're going to have a fatal four-way to see who's going to face TBS champion Mercedes Monet. It will be Alex Windsor versus Sky Blue versus Queen Aminata versus Billy Starks. Like, okay, that's interesting as hell. Let's go. And of course, Alice Windsor is hyping herself up. She's like, listen, she's like, this is a very star-studded match. You hear all those names, but at the end of the night, you're only going to hear Alex Windsor. And then we get to Tony Storm, who's going to be Tony Storm. So look, I'm just going to highlight a couple of what she said. The brawl, he's like, 4 brawling bitches. I use perfect times like these. What's wrong with you? And so, like, and despite this non-sexual relationship between me and Alex, it just proves one thing: you can beat us up, but you can't beat us down. It's like, what? It's like, I was like, can you please just cool it just a little bit? And so, and then it was something about how if y'all are going to fight to to dip your ink in the John Hancock and sign a date with Destiny and let's tango off into
Let's
it.
whip our tits out. We're gonna whip out her tits in tango.
Let's whip out our tits and tango. And then her and Alice just leave the interview. I'm very glad they cracked. I'm very glad that Renee was a part of this from the start because if any new interviewer could not withstand any of this. It's been 2 years since Renee has been a part of the Tony Storm experience, so this hasn't cracked her like it used to. But it really is like it feels it feels like Tony Storm. Like I haven't seen you crack in a minute. Let me see if I can crack you now with what I say. And so many times where you almost do it, but Renee is now she got the face down pat. This was hilarious. Any thoughts on this segment?
That's how good Tony Storm is. I mean, and we'll see. I mean, the pairing of Alex Windsor and Tony Storm seems right now to be benefiting Alex Windsor. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm here for all of it at the moment. I mean, anything that Tony Storm does at the moment is brilliant. So, yeah.
I concur. All right, and so unlike you, I didn't need a whole Saw moment of what the freak was going to happen with Wheeler in a basement and be tortured with Saul and Jade and whatnot. But I did want to give a little bit more of a longer story narrative, like maybe hold off on showing us what you did. But right after that promo, we have Moxley and Marina looking for Wheeler. They go into the parking lot. We see a body bag. They pull a body bag out of the street because here comes a honking SUV and it started be honking the crap out of this horn and just dashing out. They unzip it. Of course, Will You're inside with Forbidden Door right there on the forehead. Okay, so evidently we're going to do this on Forbidden Door. I am all here for it. Why wait? Let's go right now. Any thoughts on this little segment?
Like I said before, and I mentioned a couple times, when all this first went down, when Darby first took John hostage, and then he took Wheeler, I was hoping for a little bit more, cinematic type stuff. But
Yeah.
again, it's been fine. I mean, it was, the body bag with Wheeler in it and the note with Forbidden Door on it. Okay, yeah, it's fine. I mean, it gets its point across, I suppose. I just feel like they could have done a little bit more. But yeah, I'm here for them at Forbidden Door. The match should be amazing. Forbidden Door, the card is setting up to be very good. As the Forbidden Door pay-per-views have been. This will be the third one? I think this is Forbidden Door 3?
Four?
4? 4? Is it 4? I don't have to look and see. It's either 3 or 4, but
So
all the previous ones have been solid. So
yeah.
this one's setting up to be very good too. Which reminds me, quick little segment. We will be doing a Forbidden Door watch along, so please join us here for Forbidden Door. Right now, I'm drawing a blank. My mind is a little bit not working correctly, so I'm drawing a blank on the exact date. But I want to say it is
The 24th,
August
I think.
24th. So we will be here live for that. So please join us as we watch Forbidden Door live and give you our reactions and opinions in real time. That being said, yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for this match. It should be fun. Like you said, do it sooner than later. I mean, there's no reason to drag it on. There's nothing in John or Darby's character that lends to delay or procrastination. Both of them
Exactly.
are put your head down and run right through it. So let's get to it. Let's do it the first. It's on site. Let's do it. So yeah, I'm surprised it's waiting for Forbidden Door. They feel more like on site type guys, like it should. I mean, and it has been to a certain extent as they've been, whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, let's do it
But
and get it. Yeah,
people, have been kidnapped, so you can't really get your hands on someone if you keep trying to watch your back.
no doubt. What I'm interested to see is if this is going to be like if there's going to be a long term feud or if it's just a one match situation in Forbidden Door or if it's going to result in. I guess we won't know until we see the outcome, whatever. But I'm just
Yeah,
curious to know.
I
Curious
wouldn't
to see.
mind it being a rivalry. I wouldn't maybe do best out of three. But if it's a one and done, I'm okay with that too. All right. So next we have I need y'all to the people who are like, well, how was Renee going back and forth? I need y'all to pay attention to when it says earlier today. Some of these interviews are earlier today because Renee has been working her butt off. Uh, we have Mercedes Moné arriving to the arena with her that she won another belt someplace. So now that's why it's officially 8 belts Monet. It's like what are we that was Red Pro. That was the last one. So yeah, she had add another belt to her collection. Renee was like, "Thank you for welcome back, Mercedes Monet. It's been a minute since we've seen you." Mercedes is eating a watermelon. Well, she took a bite out of her watermelon. She tosses it. Boo! We wasted good fruit, and that's only in season. Anyway, sorry. And then Renee was like, "We have not seen you since All In against Tony Storm. That was a great match, a match of the ages." And Renee just hyping her up, and you just see Mercedes still get mad because she did lose, but she just presses the microphone down and she says, "Renee, don't be such a mark." And she just leaves. It's like y'all don't stop treating Renee like she's such a class citizen. Like she's just doing her job. She is just doing her job. But it was a nice, a fine, whatever. Welcome back to Mercedes. Any thoughts?
I like Renee Paquette, and I'm glad that she gets what she gets.
Yeah.
She probably deserves more. I don't know what that would be, but just because she's so good at what she does. Um,
Right.
but this really, I wouldn't call this a promo, or I mean, I guess it's a Mercedes segment because she's in it, but she said all in one word, right, or all in 2 words. I mean,
Right.
basically, this is Renee, right? So, um, it's fine. I mean, Mercedes. I enjoy Mercedes. I think she's definitely the best women's wrestler in AEW at the moment that's not injured and that's actually on TV. I think so in that regard. Yeah, I mean, I'm always here for Mercedes. And this is, that this seems right in her wheelhouse. This kind of attitude and the reaction that she has and the way she deals with Renee. I mean, it's dismissive and all those things, which is what the CEO is. Renee is below her. So talk to you later.
So rude. Very much so rude. And then we have our fatal four-way to see who faces her for the TBS championship. This was a great match. It started off well. I actually was very much into it. Again, we are here to push Queen Amanada because she deserves it because she is so freaking she's a hidden gem, basically. And Alice Windsor is definitely getting her foot, is finding her footing into the division as well. Billy Starks, it's like, all right, we've had her for 3 or 4 years, and she's been under the minion overlord Athena. But now she's definitely now you're getting the reps in. Now she's like, okay, we're getting her to a part of being a main eventer. Still a little green, but definitely more precise with her strikes. And Sky Blue was fine because she, granted, when she came back, she hasn't had that many she hadn't had many matches, so fine. But we gotta change her finisher, darling. We gotta change her finisher. So she tried to set up is a fatal 4-way match. So it is a little bit of a no DQ. She sets up a chair on the outside of the ring to put Queen Aminata in, but she doesn't want to just slap her. She doesn't want to just do a DDT. She wants to do her stupid cold blue. But again, the crackhead emotionally, she has to spin to hop on Queen Aminata's back. She keeps falling off because you try to hop on someone's back. It's dumb. And then she hops on someone's back. And so she falls off and hits the chair. And it's I'm like, screw this. And so she just grabs Sky Blue and just DDTs her through the chair because again, it was a very dumb behind segment. Stop hopping on people's backs for the freaking cold blue. It's stupid. That being said, we have Alex Windsor. So we Alex Windsor pins Billy Stark. Alex Windsor will face Mercedes Monet for the TBS Championship. Any thoughts?
I mean, one of these things is definitely not like the other with Sky Blue. I mean, honestly, she's the odd woman out here. I mean, even Billy Starks, who is, I think, significantly younger still as far as age goes, and probably in ring time, is already head and shoulders above Sky Blue as a wrestler and her abilities. So, no, I mean, Queen Aminata is brilliant. Billy Starks is becoming great. And Alex Windsor, wow, talking about having a rocket strapped to your back. I mean, I feel like she kind of came out of nowhere, and now here she's. I understand it's because she's with Will Ospreay, Anika, but it feels like they strapped the rocket to her back big time, and she's not disappointing. I mean, I don't necessarily think now. I think that it probably doesn't hurt her that she's Miss Ospreay. At the same time,
she's Alex Windsor.
I think she I think she has shown just in this last month or so that for all intents and purposes, I feel like she deserves to be where she's at. I mean, she looks really good. I mean, she's got all the skills, it seems like. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a surprise that she got the win here. It feels like they're pushing her really fast, really quick. But hey, I mean, so far, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, yes, at the expense of Queen Aminata, who in theory has been in there putting in the work and probably deserves the win more because she's been putting in the hard work at AEW. Beyond that, Alex Windsor should probably, from what I've seen, be beating Billy Starks and definitely beating Sky Blue. Yeah, and her finisher move. She needs a new finishing move. Yeah, it looks like bad wrestling because it looks like a botch a lot of times when it doesn't happen the right way. So, yeah, they got to figure out something to do with that. My suggestion to do the new finisher for her is just take her off TV, and then we don't have to worry about seeing any of it. So, yeah. For what it was fine. Alex Windsor getting the win, and Alex Windsor versus Mercedes Monet for the TBS Women's Championship should be interesting. Alex Windsor versus Athena was really, really good, even though Athena did get the win. So I have no reason to think that she's not going to have a very good match with Mercedes. I don't think she'll get the win. If she gets the win, then something's definitely in the water. Somebody paid somebody for something, or whatever. I mean, Tony Khan. I don't know what's going on, but she shouldn't get the win. But I expect it to be a very good match.
Anyway, no. So without the Ospreay stuff to the side, she's getting the push that every woman usually gets, where it's like, oh, she comes in with a banger, she goes for a title, she doesn't really win the title, and then we just put her in the mid card. It's not like, so hopefully maybe she can break through to that, but the match will be great. I will definitely give her that. All right. So post match we have your CEO coming out to face her new competitor, CEO with all 8 belts on your. So my sis, I think I said it before. My sister works for the TSA, and wrestlers came through and the metal detector, and she helped one of those belts. She's like, "Oh, that's actually real metal." So suffice to say, we have Mercedes Monet with 8 belts around her waist. I'm not sure how are you carrying. I know you have to carry it some way, but on your waist, it feels like that's like hella heavy. But she's a wrestler, so maybe like even though she doesn't show it, she probably has more muscle on her than it looks like on the body. So either way, like I said, Mercedes Monet comes out. She tells what's old girl's name, the referee, um
Aubrey,
Aubrey Hepburn.
Aubrey, yeah.
Aubrey, no, not Aubrey.
No, not Hepburn. Aubrey, yeah. I forget what her last name is.
It's Aubrey. It's Aubrey. But she
Aubrey.
tells Aubrey to get the belts from her strap. And so basically it's 8 belts you have to take off for this one stare down, which was so freaking much. And so Al Winter's getting in her face like, I ain't scared of you. We gonna go. It's gonna be fantastic. And then you have Tony Storm who's been out there for the whole time, kind of to have Al Winter's back just in case some craziness comes out. But she gets into the ring because it's the first time she has seen Monet after All In. But you're staring so hard at Mercedes, you're missing your competitor sneaking up on you. Athena goes off the top rope and gives Athena goes off the top rope and gives Tony Storm another old face. It's like, ma'am, watch your back, literally. And as she gives her the old face, Mercedes gives Alexander a backstabber. And then we have a quick little stare off between Athena and Mercedes. Yes, we still want that match. Yes, do it this year at least, please. But right now, it's just a little bit of a mutual respect. A little like Athena backs away. She gets out of the ring, and her and Billy are just laughing because they really think that they got this in the bag. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. And then you have Mercedes getting her title, staring back at Alex Windsor, and that's the end of it. Any thoughts on this little aftermath of Mathemath?
Yeah, I mean, it's solid. It propels the storyline forward. Um, Athena and Mercedes still get that look at each other and kind of continue to tease that, which we obviously need at some point sooner than later. Um, yeah, I mean, I think this is fine. I mean, Athena has the match with Tony Storm, so in that regard, her hitting the O face, like, twice is, Tony likes to go into these spots, kind of, even though she's a champion, feeling almost like the underdog. It feels that way sometimes, because she's often kind of in the she's taken the beating before the big match type of situation.
Yeah.
So it feels like she's come in kind of hurt supposedly, or whatever. And so yeah, so I mean, this is kind of becoming her MO a little bit, but at the same time, I really like it. So yeah, I'm here for all this. I thought this was a solid women's segment.
Very much so agreed. All right, we go from commercial, we come back, and then we have again. Renee have another interview segment with the Young Bucks. I love her because she's a troll through and through. So she's like, "Hello," and now I have back with the Young Bucks. I'm sorry, like, ma'am, you knew the name. And so she's like, "So how do you feel about going against the new team of Brodito, Brody King and Bandito? They've been a great team. They've been going up. They have this huge rise. How do you feel about going up against them tonight?" And of course, Nick and Matthew were like, "The disrespect, Renee. We are still, either we're not EBs, we are still your founding fathers, and people will still show us respect. You know what? Let's take care of some business right now." So they go to a backstage handler. His name is Charlie. If you ever seen BTE or Sam Guevara's vlog, you've seen him a effort amount of times. But they're like, "Listen, you've been screwing up our entrances for the past couple of weeks. This is a warning to you. You better have a bunch of pyro. You better get our names right, and it better be spectacular. Do you you got it? Good." And so that was hilarious because yes, the entrances for the Young Bucks have been one of the best things about them losing their EVP status. Anything about this little segment?
I mean, just that the Young Bucks are fun. I mean, and it's all good. I mean, the founding father gear is really stupid, but it's funny. It made me laugh. Um,
Yeah,
they're um, you know, I'm often leery of my comedy in wrestling because even though it's scripted and it's fake and it's entertainment and all that stuff, like there's a there's a root part of me that 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 loves the serious part of it and the actual part of wrestling that I love. And I feel like sometimes the comedy makes fun of it and doesn't always work for me. But the Young Bucks and their comedy always works for me. They're always funny. It always seems to hit for me. So yeah, no, I mean this is perfect. I mean, they continue to do what they do, even though they're not EVPs. They're still founding fathers, which is and yeah, no, I mean even taking well, we'll get to it, but yeah, I'm here for it. The match should be good. We'll talk about the match when it comes up here later in the show.
yes, we will. And then again, Renee, was Tony Schiavone tired? Cause like that, go on, Tony, you could have done this segment. We got Tony Schiavone in the ring. No, sorry, not Tony Schiavone. We have Renee in the ring to do an in-ring segment with with the new TNT champion, Cal Fletcher. And here comes Cal Fletcher, decked in a black suit with a pink tie and these goofy yet really cute glasses with his new TNT championship belt around his waist, along with the Callis family and the Don Callis there as well. And basically, this is his accepting speech. He's like, all thanks to me, I stole back the moment I should have gotten all along from like he gets mad like I should even had to steal it back from a 57-year-old man with two broke down knees and Adam Cole again. Like what are we doing? But now everything is back into its rightful place, and it's all thanks to me. And of course, Don Callis is an epic freaking troll of a manager, and so he's like, "Listen, you are listen, you are in the place where you're supposed to be, and I have this little present for you for your big win, and it gets super creepy in any way you want to call it." And so it's like, "So I have it underneath, I have it underneath here. Do you want to see it?" And of course, Fletcher is in his bag. Well, I want to see it. I long to see it. Whip it out. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing
Yo,
here?
Tom,
Y'all, y'all are doing too much. And of course, it's a classic Don Callis picture where we have Don Callis shirtless with jeans on behind Cal Fletcher, who's butt naked with the TNT belt covering his penis. We knew it was gonna be stupid. But we never got like the level of stupidity is never beaten. Like we never say that's too much. It's always you can they're all John Callis always beats it. And of course, Cal Fletcher loves it. He does, I love it. I so love it. And of course, they continue to embrace and bask in their win into the segment. Do you want to say anything about this? Because this is so
this was hysterical.
like
I
what
mean, I'm
is going
not the
on,
biggest Don
man?
Callis fan, but this was brilliant. I thought this was hysterical. The picture's great. I mean, it's terrible, but it's great. It's terribly great. Yeah, no, I thought this was fun.
It's
You know,
terrible.
Kyle
What you say?
Fletcher can be at times a little bland personality wise.
Yeah.
And so Don Callis, I think, helps that a lot because even though he's a douchebag, he's funny. So yeah, no, I mean, I thought this was fine. I thought it was really good for what it was. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. So I liked it.
Yeah, this has been very much so crazy in the best way possible. All right, and so next we have another segment of more so we go back to a couple of weeks ago where the beef between Copeland and FTR with Stokely. We see he spears Stokely out of his shoes metaphorically, and then yes, Renee gets a break. We have old girl from I'm not sure what her name is, but it's not Renee Paquette because she needs a break. And basically we have an interview with Adam Copeland. the girl asked him about what he thought about Christian Cage's promo from last week, and he's like, "Listen, I thought maybe after everything he's been through, he would have a better perspective, but generally he doesn't. And of course, he gets concerto for it, so whatever, let him do him." And so like he's like, "Listen, my focus is on FTR, and I'm going to get my hands on FTR any way possible." And so right now they have this little agreement that I can't touch them, but you never said anything about Stokely. So I went to Tony Khan, and me and Stokely are going to have a little match. And here's the caveat: if FTR comes out and help, then the stipulation of me not ever touching them or being involved in their match has been lifted. So but I already know they're gonna do so. More so, what is FTR gonna do? Are they gonna let their manager go take a beating for them, or they're actually gonna be up the cheer them on and actually help them out? But either way, I'm gonna get my hands on on my revenge on Stokely. Uh, we all we all kind of saw this coming, right? And but more so, it's now official. What do you think about this segment? What do you think about Stokely versus Adam Copeland? Stokely
I
is
mean,
a great manager, so it's gonna be hilarious. But like, how much stock are we gonna put into this match more so than anything?
I mean, I can't imagine in any real shape or form that this match is really going to actually happen. I mean, I don't think that FTR really cares about the restraining order when it really boils down to it. So they're not going to sacrifice Stoke over the restraining order. So what I imagine is going to happen is that Stokely's going to come down, look like he's going to be in the match. It's going to be funny for a couple minutes, and then FTR will get involved, and it'll end up whatever it is from there. But I mean, the idea of us getting Stokely versus Cope is hysterical. I
Yes.
think Stokely would be hysterical in a match, and I hopefully we'll get to see some of that at least in the very beginning. But I can't imagine it's going to end up being a real match. So,
It's his first time.
Copeland versus FTR, the Cope FTR storyline. I'm here for it. For me, it only really becomes truly, truly, truly interesting when they find a way to get Christian on board and we end up with Edge and Christian versus FTR. I mean, the reality is that I'm not the biggest Adam Copeland fan slash Edge fan. I never was. So it's okay. Whereas Christian, I absolutely love, and FTR, I'm definitely in like with FTR. I wouldn't say I'm in love with FTR. For me, adding Christian to this and us getting Edge and Christian would make this really worthwhile. Until that really happens, it's just kind of eh. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's a solid storyline. It makes sense. They're doing it well. It's just not something that I find myself overly excited about.
Understandable. Yep, understandable. Uh, so next we have the other bracket to the tag team division, going to see who's the number one contender for the Hershey Kids tag team titles. We have
Yes,
finally
yes, yes, yes.
Bandito versus Bro Dito versus the Young Bucks, Bro Dito and Desperado or Bandito, sorry. Keep it on Desperado. They come
Now you're
out.
pulling it out.
They're like, come on, like stop. No, I've done it one for you. That's why I tease you when you do it. But more so, we have Brody King and Bandito come out. They're a team. They're good. I'm not sure why. Listen, the skull cap Brody King wears. I'm like, I'm not sure what we're doing with this, but I feel we can do better. I want more. I want better for you, boo boo. So I think we should just change it up. We can do better than this. But then we have the Young Bucks. And so even though they threaten production of their entrance, we start off with we have the now we have back to the traditional uh Young Bucks entrance of Matthew Nicholas Jackson, but the the wall that comes up for them has stopped. They have it didn't come all the way up. So Nick and Matt have to crouch under to get to the ramp. And then after that happens, we get no more pyro. We go back to just the Young Bucks looking like a 5-year-old druid, and then the little title underneath their name is not even Matt and Nicholas. Is Matt? It says Max and Jerry. I'm like, at least Max is next to Matt, but Nicholas, Jerry, like, dang, got it. Like, it's like that. That will always pop me. Like, until they get back on. I'm not sure. Like, they can't get back to status, but I guess until they become tag team champions again, just let them just go back to the spiral down of craziness. I'm all here for it. But now, match wise, this was so freaking good. Like, this is so freaking good. This is why it's kind of forgivable to just have the mixed shake tag team come in, because they are crazy enough, really working together well. But of course, you're in there with Nick with the Young Bucks, and so once again, like just like FTR, if something happens, we're not looking at Young Bucks, we're looking at two. But crazy enough, no, they've hit it. Some little nice little impact. We have Brody King helping Bandito go over the top rope. Basically, over the top dive, moonsault. Brody King does his patented crossbody for hitting him across the barricade. He gets he gets one of the kids' signs from the crowd that says the Young Bucks are jobbers, which was hilarious. And then we get back into the ring, but of course, Nicholas and Matthew, they're going to come back. They're going to do their thing. I still stand by this, that Nicholas is probably the best white high flyer in the business right now. And then we have, yeah, no, I still stand by that, because Osprey, he put some pounds on. He don't do that much. That's why I know. So they try to go for an EVP trigger, but they can't call it EVP trigger anymore. So that kind of gave Brodito a window to counteract the attack. And here comes freaking Brody King doing what's it called? Senton bombs all over the freaking place with your big behind. Like, sir, what the freak is, like, what are we doing? You are too doggone big. You went to Mexico one time, and now you just want to do Senton bombs off the top ring apron and stuff. And then so they missed it the first time, but I guess the finisher for Brody and Bandito is basically Bandito's in the corner, Brody's on his back, and Brody just uses his feet to overshoot Bandito to this 450 splash. 1, 2, 3. Brodito beats the Young Bucks and advances in the tournament. I did not see that coming at all. Like they're getting momentum and they are being hyped up, but in my mind, either Young Bucks or FTR were going against Her Syndicate. I'm wonderfully surprised. I'm not mad at it at all, but I'm definitely shocked. Any thoughts on the match?
Hold on for a second. I got a visitor.
Hey, Boo there.
I don't know. I think you might have shoot it all. When I'm done, I can look around. Okay. Sorry.
Hey. Pop out, come first.
Yeah, I remember the one in the circle. I think it might be gone, but I'll look for it when I'm done. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I'll look for it as soon as I'm done. Okay. Okay. No, I mean, this was, I think that we both thought that it was going to be FTR and the Bucks in the finals. I'm glad that it's not. I'm glad that we actually get something different. I looking at the bracket, I never expected it to be Brodito. So in that regard, I'm extremely happy that they've done something that I think is a little bit different, or not different, but at least that I didn't see coming. And again, very happy for Brody King. Like we said, like we talked about earlier, is being, tag team champions or a shot against the Hurt Syndicate enough? No, but it's something. And so, I'm happy to see him on my TV. I think him and Bandito, you throw together guys, you Frankenstein teams, makeshift teams, and you hope for the best. And sometimes you get something and sometimes you don't. Here, it feels like we've got something that works well together. So, in that regard, I'm happy that they advance. I think it's great for the Young Bucks who are clearly in a spiral to actually spiral with the loss as opposed to be, negative and still get wins. So yeah, you got to have them lose too because it just adds the whole thing. So the loss here is perfect, and FTR versus Brodito in the finals should be a lot of fun. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of torn. I feel like if Brodito somehow gets the win over FTR, it feels like it's probably fairly like 75 to 80% that the Hurt Business retains, which kind of makes the tournament a little. It feels like it devalues it a little bit for me because, in theory, they've had these belts for a while. Bobby should be doing something singles wise, which is really, I think, his sweet spot. So I've been expecting them to lose the titles. So if they, and I assumed that was going to come from the winner of this tournament. But if it's Brodito, I don't know, feels like there's a far less chance of them winning than if FTR wins the tournament. My guess is that FTR probably beats the Hurt Syndicate. So I think it's going to be very telling who comes out of this finals. But the match itself was great. I thought it came off great. Lots of good spots. The Young Bucks do what they do. I love that they can't do the EVP trigger because they're not EVPs anymore. So now we can't do the move even because of whatever. It's like, come on.
Oh yeah.
But no, I mean it just adds to their their personality and character, their quirk. So I thought this came off really good, and again, I'm very happy to see the unpredictable victory for Brody King and Bandito.
I wouldn't mind they win. It feels like they're just trying to earn that the tag division needs. So if y'all want to ride it for a little bit longer, I'm okay with that. I am.
Yeah.
After this, we have another recap of our main event tonight of Mark Briscoe versus MJF, and then we have right after the tag team match, we have the Hurt Syndicate getting interviewed by again Renee Paquette. Girl, did you get a bonus today? I don't know. But then again, earlier today, whatever. Still early, you cheated a whole lot earlier today interviews. But her syndicate gives a less than warm congratulations to uh the Broditos, and whoever wins. But here comes MJF. One last little strive to get this, we call it, one last little strive to, what's the word?
Make the Hurt Syndicate work with him in it, or him, as a right.
Match. Yes, thank you, thank you so much. But as first things first, you have Bobby Lashley walks out, Shelton Benjamin walks out, and then MJF was like, Montel, you know me since I was 18 years old. We don't need Bob or Shelton. Just you and me. We can go for the tech. You and me. We go for the freaking championship. And so it's like, and people like Max, you don't get it, man. Ever since you've been in here, it's been me. I told you, if you join the syndicate, we hurt people, but you talk about yourself. So for me, it's an official thumbs down. I guess he's officially out of the Hurt Syndicate. Story over. This story has sucked because, bruh, like we didn't even get like one little nice little trios match. Like this was so like this. What were we doing, man? But MJF was like, okay, it's just business at the personal. But MVP gives him a warning, like, oh, no, not right now, because. And so it's like, sorry. He was like, I would like to wish you, I like to wish you well in your future endeavors, but I don't want to, because if you are successful in getting the tag team, your beautiful Triple B back, then Bobby Lashley's coming for you, and it won't be business. It'll be all personal. And of course, in a rage, MJF's like, get the camera in my face. And so I guess we're gonna set. I guess it gives a little bit more weight into who wins against in all this in the whole scenario of Hangman, Mark Briscoe, MJF, and yeah, that's it. That's all of them. Like more so, like so. Let's say MJF wins, we have Bobby Lashley on deck, which isn't a bad thing, but right now in this scenario, yeah, I'm very much so disappointed in this Hurt Syndicate story. I thought we were going to do way more. The talk of town is like they couldn't agree on how to push forward. But man, this was like what was it? Did it even make a? Did he even make it through the whole summer? Like summer's over and her Syndicate MDF is over. Like dang. Any thoughts on this segment?
Yeah, I mean, good riddance to bad rubbish. I mean, this situation has been egregious for a while, which is unfortunate because it's got a lot of star players in it. I mean, so it's unfortunate, but it's been bad since the beginning. The multiple weeks with the are they going to thumb up or thumb down and Bob turn. I mean, it was that, and then like you said, for all of it to be never even to culminate in a match together or anything together. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the 3 week WWE push, right? And something's big for 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you just never hear about it again, and how that's bizarre and weird, and you never get these things. Never, I wonder if that's almost not better when you realize something's bad than it is to push it out for 3, 4 months and then try to tie a bow on it that makes the whole thing even worse, which is kind of what they've done here, right? It feels like they tried something, they knew it wasn't working, but instead of just cutting their losses and just pretending like maybe it never happened and move on, they just wanted to put a bow on it. So this is how they decided to do it. And it's like, oh, okay, this makes it even worse. So yeah, I mean, the roundabout thing is that ultimately MJF is going to probably have the title, and Bobby Lashley and MJF are going to have a feud. At some point, I figured that was coming, or Bob's going to have the title, and MJF's going to come for one of them is going to have the title at some point, and the other one's coming for it. So I knew that this was going to lead ultimately to a feud between Bobby Lashley and MJF, and this is a terrible way to get there. Um,
But oh,
MJF and MVP. Um, you know, we're about we here. I some of it's I understand what they're saying. We hurt people and all that kind of stuff, and I get it. And they've been up and down the road together and all those things, and they know each other for forever and whatever. I, I guess ultimately it's good that that MVP, you know, sided with the Hurt Syndicate. I guess and it wasn't like it was ambiguous at all, and it's perfect for MJF's character to try to convince him to whatever. But I'm not sure I really cared for the very little ending tete-a-tete between him and MJF and MVP. But again, the segment itself was fine. Now that it's over, I'm just glad it's done. So go away. I mean, the segment itself was terrible. Now that it's over, go away. Do something else.
yeah, yeah. I hope
Everybody involved.
everyone can come out better with this involved. Yeah, I agree. But I think we all wish for better, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Back from another backstage segment. It's crazy enough that we have all these backstage segments, but it didn't feel overcrowded in some way. Alicia is doing this one with FTR and Stokely Hathaway, talking about how that what do you call it? How Adam Copeland has challenged Stokely into a match. I'm laughing because it is so freaking stupid. And so Dax is like, Adam, we did this band for your benefit, for your health, because we weren't sure because we're not scared of you. Now, as for Stokely, we have full faith that Big Stoke is going to handle business. This cash comes in. Aren't you ready for this match, Big Stoke? And so, and as
So stupid.
and so you see Stokely's face as the FTR is talking about this and trying to hype him up. And but
You see how scared he is, the fear all in his face. Like,
why is this miserableness? And so Stokely gets them like, hey, he's like, Adam Copeland, I can't believe at your big age that you would do this. What? Like, look at me. I am not a wrestler. I am just a manager for the greatest tag team in the world, FTR. I also injured. And what are we doing here? I'm short. I'm bad. I'm short. I'm bald. I can't get no holes. I've been fighting every day for my life. and then Dax, his double high. You can get holes. Y'all need to go away. Y'all y'all been together too long that y'all are now friends, and it's stupid. So Stokely keeps going. You know what? When we fight, I'm going to embarrass you. You're going to your wife, who wait. So he's like, so when I beat you, I'm trying to get it right. So when I beat you, you have to go home to your wife, who has a forehead of a microballer, and that broke FTR. That's to cover his mouth, and Cash is just trying to look away. And so he's like, but so I'll see you next week on Dynamite. This is so stupid. I listen. We've said it before. FTR and Stokely don't need each other, but I am glad that they're together because they're both dumb. They're both dumb. And this is probably segment of the night. Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, Stokely's great. He's hysterical. These guys work well together. FTR and Stoke, like you said. Yeah, I mean, it was quite funny. I enjoyed it. I laughed. Um, when he's going good, Stokely is incredibly entertaining. Well, not going good. He's always entertaining. Every time he's on TV, he's entertaining. So, yeah, I mean, FTR, like you said, FTR and Stoke don't necessarily need each other, but as they've come together, it's been great. So, yeah, I mean, I'm here for it. And I'm very interested to see what becomes of the actual match and so on Dynamite next week.
Yeah. Yeah, no. This is up there with so the top five Stokely Hathaway promos. This is definitely up there with you raggedy bitch. And
Right. Yeah,
I'm gonna push you, but don't test me. That's Tupac. And then of course anything with him and Samoa Joe and Ring of Honor was just hilarious. So yeah, this is yeah. He hasn't popped me
right.
like
Yeah.
this minute, but this was so great.
We'll be
All right,
right back. 1 second.
all right. And so next up, we have another video package to like just in case you don't know, the replay of Swerve versus Okada is now official. That's going to be at Forbidden Door, and I like a little change of pace, a little change of scenery. Renee is doing another interview, but instead of backstage, we're doing it on the ramp with Swerve, whose house? Swerve's house. Prince Now doing the Swerve when I drive top. Oh, hit them flies. And basically, Swerve comes out and he's like, the past couple of months have been hard. I fought alongside my best friend to get the EVP title stripped from the Young Bucks, but now I'm gonna face Okada at a Forbidden Door. And Okada, for some reason, Forbidden Door last year, I had to go against my best friend and put him out. He's like, if you have, and then I put that, and I did that to my best friend. What makes you think I'm gonna be any less, not cruel, but harder on you? This is a big match for you, Okada, because you're facing one of the most dangerous men in all elite wrestling. This is me, and you better step it up because I'm gonna take your tag team. I'm gonna take your international championship. This is about redemption. Everything's on my shoulders because sorry, just listen to it. I'm going to continue on to my legacy and go past you to be the next international. Is it international? Like change this belt so many times. No, it's a unified champion in the O2 Arena. Whose house? Swerve's house. Nice little breakup of segments. Oh, nice little callback to uh bringing up Don Callis being in Osprey's corner last year at Forbidden Door, and he beat and Swerve beat him there. So he's gonna be a repeat of history, maybe. And then that's in the segment for When I Drive. Any thoughts?
Just Swerve is a solid promo as usual. I mean, I, I wouldn't say I would say that there's it is with almost anybody. Not everything always 100% hits the markers like a golden promo, but Swerve is always a solid promo. He talks well. He doesn't, he doesn't have many, he doesn't stumble a lot when he's talking, as opposed to myself who can't get words out. Um, and so in that regard, he's always solid, and he's hyping up the match, and I think it's doing a good job of building up towards the match and keeping everybody keeping it fresh, in people's mind for the title at Forbidden Door. Him and Okada should be very good. I really hope Swerve gets the win.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. Next up, we have another little mini promo segment. Like we had a lot of promo segments. Like it when you're watching it, it feels fine.
It doesn't quite feel like that, but when you're going through it, it does, right?
Hey, going and we was talking a hell of a lot today. But this is the very last one where it was Alicia talking to Mark Briscoe for his match against Mark Briscoe before he goes against MJF. And before he gets it right out, here is Heyman to hype up Mark Briscoe. He's like, listen, at everyone back here, I admire you, especially for the past, whatever you've gone through for the past 2 years. It's keeping yourself being hyped up. If you win, I'll be proud to go toe to toe for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And all right, let's go. Big match, Phil. I like how nothing fancy, hit it and quit it. Give Mark Briscoe an actual feel of I can actually win this. I loved all of this. Any thoughts?
I enjoyed it all. I mean, Mark Briscoe is becoming. I think he's growing every time I see him on TV, and his promos are getting better and better. And I enjoy him a lot. He's very entertaining. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for the match that we're about to talk about here in the main event.
And it's finally time for the main event. We have Mark Briscoe coming down, and then we have MJF. A little, what you call it? A little disheartened because he really don't have faith in himself, huh? Without the little hearse to get behind, watching his back. But the bell rings and off to the races. Just in case you forgot, MJF is actually a very good wrestler. Case in point, this match. But Mark Briscoe definitely takes the lead in the feud, and you see MJF already over it. He rolls before Mark Briscoe goes for the Rocky Bow. He rolls out of the ring. He's like, I had enough of this. Of course, you terrorize a child in the because like you have to take your frustrations out on the kids because sir, why? But Mark Briscoe is following you into the ring. They're brawling. It's crazy, but of course, this is when MJF gets the upper hand, and then he gets relocked into the match. This is patented. What you call it? Abdominal stretch while using the ring ropes, and of course, a couple of times, too many times, the ref sees it, knocks it over. Mark Briscoe takes takes advantage. Through all of this is Mark Briscoe, so a table is being set up for whatever reason. But so Mark Briscoe goes up to get the fucking bowl to MJF to the table. Last minute, MJF rolls off of it, and Mark Briscoe just goes straight through. It's like, sir, I'm trying to think. When have you ever set up a table? It's like it's been a minute, and you didn't go through it. It really feels like every time you set something up, it doesn't execute the way you want it to. I'm just saying, stop, because we want you to win. So stop. So MJF takes advantage and rolls Mark Briscoe in, but that is at the end of the match. MJF to the heat seeker, 1, 2, 3, but Mark Briscoe's foot is on the rope, down behind freaking ref didn't see it, but before he could, MJF just takes his foot off the rope and said, "Yeah, I won. Yeah, it's me." MJF versus Heyman at Forbidden Door. we kind of saw this coming. We just hope that we maybe a different outcome just because we love Mark so much. But I'm not mad at it. Any thoughts?
I very solid match. I thought that it went longer and was better than I thought it was going to be. It didn't feel too long. I mean, it went a good length. I thought the match worked out really well. You
Yeah,
know, they appeared much more even than I thought it was going to come
yeah,
off when it did. I thought MJF was going to be a little bit more dominant ultimately, but I think it came off really well. I thought it protected Mark Briscoe, especially with his foot on the rope.
yeah,
Classic MJF to push it off and essentially kind of cheat to get the win. Um, that's perfect for him. Mark Briscoe's still ultimately protected because, he had his foot on the rope. So, it took MJF to cheat to beat him. And I think it raises his profile a lot from being in a solid main event match with a main event superstar, former AEW World Champion, soon to be two-time AEW World Champion at some point in the future, MJF. And so, no, I mean, I think all around it was good for everybody. I think the story came off well, and I thought the match was great. So,
yeah. But of course, in classic MJF fashion, you just can't win and be done with it. You have to keep beating up Mark Briscoe after the match, and that lures Hangman out to the ring to beat Joe behind, and they go bout for bout, and more so because MJF used his stupid diamond ring that I think like can y'all please get this ring off this man, sir? That causes Mark Briscoe to bleed. Heyman comes out to help MJF. They brawl. We call it the security tries to tear them apart. Eventually they do. MJF goes throughout the crowd to leave, but it is official. Heyman versus MJF. I believe is that Forbidden Door. I am not mad at it. And that is the end of Dynamite. What is your thoughts on the aftermath of the match?
fine. I mean, Hangman and MJF are going to have a solid match. I kind of think that Hangman's probably going to get the win because I think that they want to have him have a good run. And I
Yeah.
think a solid win against MJF would be a good a very solid victory in his title reign. So I have a feeling he'll get the win here. I don't know that doesn't mean that MJF doesn't beat him down the road here ultimately for the title at some point. I don't know who's going to beat him, but I could see it being MJF down the road. I just think Hangman gets the win at Forbidden Door. Yeah, I mean, I thought the show came off good. There were a few, egregious things. Not a few. The only real egregious stuff was the Hurt Syndicate stuff, but it's over with now. So hopefully we don't have to deal with it anymore. Solid show. It definitely was better than Collision. I thought overall. I'd probably give it a B. I didn't think it was like head and shoulders above. I don't know that it hit A for me, but I'll give it a solid B, maybe a B plus. But I think I'm gonna go with B. So
Um, I'm in the same boat. Like you said, nothing egregious. Only that it was a lot of talking segments that we didn't realize. But again, I'm not gonna grade it off that because when we were watching it, it didn't feel that many. It didn't feel that many, and the matches were so good that it's like okay, it actually balances out. Like it wasn't like it was like 5 segments and only 10-minute matches.
right, exactly.
No, it was actually some decent matches, so it balanced
Yeah.
out. Like you said, I agree with you. Where it's like it's not anything that was like, oh my god, I have to watch this again, uh, 3 times. So I'll give it a B plus because it also did its job of having a Forbidden Door, which is in 2 weeks, a week. So we
The
definitely got
24th, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So we definitely did got some work to do, but they definitely did their job in hyping it up, and we actually got some more stuff matches on the card. So B plus. It did its
All
job.
right. It did its job. So we both gave Collision from the 31st a B minus, and I gave Dynamite a B, and Anika gave Dynamite a B plus. So AEW Dynamite from August 6th is our winner again this week. Um, AEW might gets the win. So far we're beginning to see a trend, but in theory, like Anika said, it probably is what it is. I mean, It's not NXT to Raw per se, because I don't know that. It doesn't quite come with the same caveat because Collision, I don't think, is developmental, and they're trying to raise its profile, but it's definitely behind at the moment what Dynamite is, and I think it's probably fair to say it's probably always going to be that way. I have a feeling that it's going to have to be a special Dynamite and a down. A special Collision and a down Dynamite in the same week for a Collision to probably get the win. But to be fair, a B and a B minus isn't far off. B plus and B minus isn't terrible. They're both in that B category, so it's not like we're giving one an F and one an A, right? So they're pretty close in what they are. So I thought they were both solid shows, and I enjoyed both of them. So a solid week of AEW programming. Unless you got anything else to say, we'll do a little house cleaning and let the people get on with their Saturday.
Yeah.
All right. We will get to it. Join us every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern for the cookout, where we all come together and talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. Join us on Friday nights for Friday Night Fights, where Anika and somebody will be watching SmackDown, or Anika alone will be watching SmackDown starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, watching in real time, giving you her real time reactions and opinions to the show. And then Saturday mornings, we are here as you're with us now for the Winner's Circle every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, where we review AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision from the week before, give each show a grade, and the winner is declared our winner. Please check us out on all of our social media. If you scan this QR code, it will take you to Linktree, and from Linktree, you get to all of our social media from one location. You can see we are on all of the social media platforms on the screen right now. We love to interact with you guys. The best part of Workhorse Wrestling Network are the people that come and join us. So please come over and check us out, interact with us, and let us know what you've got going on. Anything you want to talk about, we're always up for chatting with you guys. So if you want to check out the cookout, the audio version of the cookout, you can check that out on these podcast platforms. That way you can listen to us when you can't necessarily sit and watch. You can listen to us when you're doing whatever it is that you're doing with your day. So like I said, you can catch that on these podcast platforms. So please check that out. Unless there's anything else, we will cut out those lights and say peace until next time.